communication. After nearly 30 years in law enforcement, he knows the value of teamwork, transparency, and public trust. Now he's ready to create a department where people want to serve and stay.
I'm Kenneth Barrett, running for Rutherford County Sheriff, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, Treasurer J.M. Stewart.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
I've always been a big fan of auctions. Get instant sale, no contingencies.
That means the sale of your property won't depend on an inspection, financing, or appraisals.
I've known the guys over there my entire life.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, wgnssports.com, Big GTV, streaming video, and always at the game. The game. It's where you've had breakfast with the coaches for decades. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's. The coaches to talk about their most recent.
Hey, Rutherford County sports fans from auto, home, renters, business insurance.
And Big GTV. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome in to our Saturday Coaches Conversation on this September the 20th. I didn't correct the date on my little Coaches Show lineup sheet here this morning, but anyway, the 20th of September. Thought we were going back in time, but we're definitely not. Well, maybe a little bit this morning as we look back at last night's games and look ahead this morning to what we've got ahead after completing 5 weeks of the high school football season. We've got that in the books with last night's contest, and we're going to talk all about it here this morning on the show. First of all, a rundown of the Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard from last night. In our broadcast game, we were at SRM Field and Robert L. Rake Stadium for the Smyrna 41-11 victory over Rockvale. We were just talking about that. Myself, John, and Danny were all at the game last night, and very opportunistic Smyrna Bulldogs taking advantage of some Rockvale turnovers and race out to a 41-11 victory. Smyrna scored 3 touchdowns in a matter of the last 2:22 after being down 3-0 go into halftime, and just some of the ways they scored and off of turnovers. Very interesting game last night. Zeke Key over 180 yards last night passing the ball, a couple of touchdowns. Bulldogs victors. Blackman Blaze winners last night 49-0 over the Laverne Wolverines, and that takes the undefeated Blackman Blaze next week into a game with the undefeated Oakland Patriots. They were winners 38-0 over Siegel last night, so Blackman will host Oakland. That's the broadcast game next week, and it's a battle of the two undefeated teams left here in Rutherford County. The Riverdale Warriors get the victory over Stewart's Creek last night, 35-7. Gavin Hampton had a really good night we're going to talk about, and many others, obviously. Put that many points on the board. Eagleville, 34-6 victors. Jonathan Jordan, another gigantic game for Eagleville, 34-6 in their first region tilt. MTCS outlast Concord Christian 42-35. They had the lead, then Concord came racing back, tied things at 35, and MTCS scores to win it 42-35. We'll talk about that on Cougar Corner around 11:15 this morning. PCA falls at Notre Dame 28-21. They were down 28-0 and came back, almost had a chance to win that one. Jacob Meyer had 13 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown and added 37 mark in the receiving column last night as well. Sean Burkoffer, with 13.5 tackles in the loss. So that's the scoreboard. What are the games that we're going to be? So we'll talk about last night's games, but we'll look ahead to next week. And what is that slate? Well, PCA plays on Thursday night when they host Franklin County. Then next Friday, that is, our broadcast game will be Blackman hosting the Oakland Patriots. Siegel will go to Rockvale. It'll be Stewart's Creek at Laverne, Columbia at Riverdale. Coffee County goes to Smyrna. It's Smyrna's homecoming, I understand. Eagleville will travel to Richland, and MTCS will play Providence Academy. That's not Providence Christian Academy, but Providence Academy. And there is a difference. So our slate of coaches this morning, I'm going to be first up with Riverdale Smyrna Blackman conversation between now and 9:45. Then we will talk Oakland, Stewart's Creek, and Rockvale. Danny Brewer will have that. You probably noticed that Laverne always kicks off that second leg at 9:45. They're unable to make it this morning, so at least at this point, some things may change. We'll see. But if not, we will carry on, and then John will have the last leg with Eagleville, and then MTCS Cougar Corner at 11:15. So that is our slate of schedule of the day. Stay with us. When we come back, we start rolling the coaches in. Riverdale, Smyrna, Blackman up first here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
The frustration many are feeling is real and justified. Kenneth Barrett said that after the county commission denied raises for deputies this year, and as sheriff, fair pay will be a top priority.
We need to figure out how we can get ours comparable to other agencies and start communication with the county commission to try to get less steps at a higher percentage.
With nearly 30 years at the sheriff's office, Barrett brings servant leadership, accountability, transparency, and fairness. Learn more at KennethBarrettForSheriff.com.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, J.M. Stewart Treasurer.
Hey, Rutherford County sports fans, from auto, home, renters, business insurance, and more, trust your local State Farm agents. Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, Emerson Williams, Alex Williams, Dana Womack, and Andy Womack. This powerful team lives here, works here, and are your neighbors. They're ready to help you manage everyday risk, recover from the unexpected, and realize your dreams. Contact Celeste, Ron, Emerson, Alex, Dana, or Andy for all of your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Pizza. You can now order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We've made ordering online a breeze. From sirpizzatn.com, tap on the location nearest you and begin your order for carryout or delivery. You can order the Royal Feast, create your own, spaghetti, calzones, everything right from our online portal at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
Need to send out professional mailings without the hassle? Franklin's Printworks makes it easy with print-to-mail service.
That is directly in our wheelhouse. We have our own in-house mail department, so we can design something, print it, and send it out under our bulk mail edition. Save you a lot on postage, and you don't even have to touch it.
Jeff Carlton at Franklin's Printworks says from postcards and newsletters to invoices, bulk mailings, design, printing, and direct mail, they handle it all.
It's a pretty quick turnaround and very cost-efficient.
Your message delivered with Franklin's Printworks.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's. on 1019 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
We're back here on the Coaches Show this morning on WGNS and Big G TV, and our coverage is brought to you in part by Parks Auction Company. Parks Auction helps get more money for your property. That's parksauction.com here on WGNS and Big G TV, bringing you your coverage here this morning. Time to talk some Riverdale sports. And Will Kreisky joins today. Will is the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors, and last night's final was 49-0 over Laverne. And kind of
that was the week before.
That was the week before.
Blackman. We were 35-7.
I'm sorry.
35-7.
35-7. That was Blackman that played Laverne.
I'm not
you
mad.
played
I'm
Stewart's
not
Creek.
mad. Don't make that mistake.
35-7 over Stewart's Creek. So only allowed 7 points in the last 2 weeks. That's all right.
Yeah, we did. Coach Rails upset. I put in a young kid at running back, and he fumbled it, and they scooped and scored. So, that's not on the defense. That was on the offense. And I got to do a better job with ball control with some of my younger kids, running backs. And we were getting, after half, we started putting different kids in different spots and getting them reps and things like that. But, the defense played really well. And, to their credit, I want to say they've only given up no points in the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
Somebody was yelling they need to fire the running backs coach last night. So, and I think the OC might have agreed. But, unfortunately, I do the running backs coach, so I guess I'll keep him around for a little bit.
Might as well,
Yeah.
It's hard to make a change in the middle of the year.
That's good. You're exactly right.
You plan for games like that, and Laverne is. I did it again. Stewart's Creek is a program that, last year they were region champs over in their other region before things got combined. So, to me, that just made this whole region just a whole lot tougher. And you got the best of them last night, but you don't know that that's going to be a guarantee from year in and year out for sure.
No, Coach Cardell and the staff, they do a great job. I know a lot of guys on that staff and worked against them in different programs, and they do a phenomenal job. They just kind of been bit with the injury bug here lately. Their quarterback's out, running back's out, and they're missing some key pieces to their puzzle. And when you miss those key pieces, sometimes it's hard, and it's going to take them a few weeks to get adjusted and everybody playing together. And I thought their quarterback last night did a great job. He commanded the offense, ran the offense well, and did what Coach Cardell asked him to do. Our defensive guys just made plays and flew around, and I thought I was really proud of them because, facing the wing tee and all the formations they had last night, and it took us a couple of series to get adjusted and get our alignment corrected, but once they did, they settled down and played some football.
Well, it's not like in this region we haven't had, become accustomed to that style of offense, but that's why the wing tee is so effective, is because it's just so hard to figure out who's got the ball, and it could be – you see the same formation, it could be any one of 4 or 5 players that have it.
Yes, and they do a really good job, and you got to be very disciplined, and that's what our guys worked on all week, is being disciplined and reading their keys and doing their job, and not trying to overdo their job and do somebody else's job, because if you do get out of place or miss a read, they could hit 6 real quick and get 6. So, but I thought they were patient and ran the ball really well last night.
Is that the key against that type of offense? Is patience and being where you're supposed to be. You handle your area, and trust that your teammate's going to handle theirs.
Yeah, yes, and you can't fall asleep because then they'll hit you with a pass. So again, if you're not doing your job, let's say safeties are trying to come down and just play the run nonstop, well, they're going to give up a deep ball. So you just have to know your responsibility each play. And the big thing is alignment, making sure your alignment, where gaps sound. And again, I thought they did a good job adjusting to it as the game went on.
Last night, your quarterback had a touchdown run, a 55-yard touchdown pass, and to that freshman phenom, right?
Yeah, they did a good job, and Luke did a good job getting open. Gavin scrambled around on that play and found him, and Luke kind of slipped behind the defenders and was wide open, and they made a great connection. And again, they're doing a good job getting better each week and catching the ball. And Braylon Burns and Zayden Jones had a great job on the offensive side, and that all the guys are starting to come together. Tally Riley Talley made some great catches last night, and then Jacob Vaughn, we handed him the ball with 3 seconds left and a half, and he takes it 88 yards for a touchdown. So, I thought those guys, and especially those guys up front, are growing up each week and getting better, and doing the little things correctly that we've asked them to do throughout the week.
Coach, you mentioned Luke, or we kind of started out with that, and I said freshman, and then it kind of dawned on me. We have several freshmen in the whole region that are starting this year, but it is very difficult to crack the starting lineup as a freshman or even a sophomore, really, in this league and at Riverdale.
Yeah, I can't count, but maybe 2 guys since I've been at Riverdale, and I've been there since '09, that's come in and played as freshmen on Friday nights, and for him to do that, it's just his mentality, his work ethic, and just how he believes and just how he operates. He doesn't operate as a freshman, just how his work ethic, his mentality at practice, and it's just very impressive what he does every day and every week.
Sometimes it's really hard. I mean, you have a kid come up and they're a good, solid football player, but they may not start getting very many varsity reps for until their junior year, and it's kind of hard to sit back when you want to play, but you have other opportunities with JV and freshmen and that kind of thing, and really development. But that says a lot about here, where other teams, if they graduate a senior class, and they're going to be very young, you may see all freshmen and sophomores out there playing. That's the difference in Rutherford County and other places. I think.
We lost a lot last year, but then we filled them in with juniors and seniors, and again, that's what you talk about, the depth of these programs and having large numbers in our programs, and we do. I think Rutherford County does a great job with promoting our JV games and getting those kids better and taking those JV games serious on Monday nights, and everybody keeping up with the record, and I think that just says a lot about our county, because that's developing all our kids and our program. All our programs in our counties, very, very. It's very important for us to be able to develop those kids on Monday night.
I think all the coaches, yourself included, there's been, I guess, last 10 years or so, there's been more of an emphasis in promoting, and here's when the freshmen play, and having a county championship and JV and the same thing, because let's face it, sometimes those kids don't make the varsity level, but they play as freshmen or JV, and that's their football experience at Riverdale, for instance.
Exactly, and that's what I was telling those kids last week. They're important. They're important Monday through Thursday during practice, and those games are valuable to them, because those are reps. You can't go a whole year without getting game reps, and those games are very, very important to them and their development. And so, I'm glad that we take it serious, and we got numbers to do it, and that's what, when you have numbers, you can have, and that builds your program and keeps kids interested.
Yeah, and that's on the NFL level. That's why they pay these scout teams, and they make pretty decent living at being able to do that, and are proud to say that they're on a team, and they get a Super Bowl ring if they win the Super Bowl, that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's very important, and I think we do a good job here, and you at Riverdale and everybody else of making sure that those kids have a very special experience, which is why you're in this business anyway,
Yes, sir.
About these kids. Jacob Vaughn, you mentioned 2 touchdowns. That was 88, 89-yarder. That had to be something spectacular.
It was a really good run, and I thought he made some good reads and good cuts. And at first I was like, he might get it. We were just actually trying to run the clock out and get to the half, and he took it. And every time he touches the ball, he has that mentality. He wants to score. Yeah. So that was really, especially at a sophomore, impressive just to see his determination on that run. That's been one of his runs that showed me that he can be a player, and we're going to keep putting our foot on him, making him grow up.
Well, we kind of spoke about this just right before going on, that it's hard to believe that this is midway through the regular season in high school football.
It's crazy. It's gone by fast. The first 5 weeks, and the next 5 weeks will fly by too, and with the fall break thrown in there. So, it's crazy that we're already sitting here playing Columbia, getting ready for the Columbia week, and it's going to be a big week. And I know it's a non-region game, but they've done some really good things. And the coach, they got alumni coaching them. He's brought a lot of pride and enthusiasm back to that program, and he reached out to us for this game, so I know they're going to be loaded and excited and ready to go.
We've definitely, over the years, have had some wars with Columbia. I can remember going to Columbia with Riverdale back in the day, and we go to broadcast the game, and and get there, and I'm setting up in the place that we're supposed to be, and the band director comes up and he says, you can't be here. You've got to, and so that's when Jeff Jordan and I were doing the games, and Bobby Weston and Bobby Gardner, and so Jeff just talks to this band guy, and so what do? I continue to set up everything. Yeah. And then 5 minutes later or whatever, well, we're already set up. We really can't break down. Gotta win there, but they're very serious about everything at Columbia. But a good rivalry is the point.
Yeah, it'll be a good game. Good, like you said, good rivalry. Opponent we haven't seen in a while, so it'll be good for us and good work for our kids. And we got to come ready and prepared and have another good week.
It's not a homecoming or anything?
It is.
Okay. I thought so.
Yes, it is homecoming. My favorite week of the year.
A coach's dream.
Yes. I'm a routine guy and schedule guy, but my routine and schedule will be thrown off. And again, everybody does a great job getting, from Miss Proctor and Rainey and doing the homecoming and getting everything set up, and the administration getting all those things going to have a fun type week for the kids. And the kids at that school deserve that. They deserve a week like that.
Yeah. Do you you've got obviously football on the mind, and there's a happy medium. Again, these are kids. Homecoming is part of the high school experience. I think all the coaches do a really good job of being able to thread the needle on this one, because you can't just go willy-nilly, but got to have the kids have an experience too.
Yeah, you let them participate and do some things, but also you remind them that it's for the student body and the alumni, and they got to go out and do their part, and that's play a football game. And so we still have to come prepared, and we keep talking about our standards, and we're not going to relax, or we're going to keep holding everybody accountable. So if we don't show up and do what we're supposed to at practice, then we'll be held accountable, and you have to do that to stay focused, because again, not only are you focused on this game, but you have to prepare for the future too. And if you're not getting better every week, it's going to cost you in the long run.
For sure. Nobody does homecoming like Riverdale, so it'll be a bit of blowout, won't it?
Yeah, they do. It's been a long tradition there, and Miss Blair and administration has done a good job carrying it on and keeping that tradition going, and so it'll be fun. It's fun for all the fall sports. I think we got some kind of in-school volleyball game maybe, and then I know Coach Gabby, our soccer program's she's done a phenomenal job this year with the soccer team. So it'll be fun for all those athletes and that participate in the fall sports.
Yeah. So there's probably something. I know there's something every day. Yeah. More than something every day.
I'll need to go check my emails.
There's no weird things that football coaches have to do or anything, right? They're going to let you coach the game.
I hope so.
It's also a good opportunity too. Homecoming, that's what it's about. It's about coming home for your alumni, and a great opportunity if you haven't seen a Riverdale football game lately, and you keep hearing about it and whatnot. Great chance to come on out and buy a ticket.
Yeah, it's Coach Mr. Limbaugh, I've said it numerous times, does a great job keeping all the lights and scoreboards going, and it's a nice show out there, and it's a nice place, to come play, and I've said it many times, like a small college atmosphere, and it's unbelievable. And yeah, if you don't have anything else to do, come out to Riverdale and watch a little football next Friday night.
Well, I would say more alumni than not didn't even have a football field at their school.
That's true. That's right.
From back in the day.
Yeah.
So, and just look at where it's come from. So, great facility, just like everywhere. Coach, it's good catching up with you. Week 5, after 5 weeks, are we healthy and all pretty much?
We've got some bumps and bruises on a few guys that hopefully we'll get one back, and the other ones get some treatment, but nothing crazy besides Shelburne. We've lost Shelburne the first week of the season, and he's going to have his surgery in the next few weeks. And other than that, everybody else is pretty good.
Well, that's a good place to be as we roll into the second half of the season. Appreciate you joining us here this morning.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Homecoming week for the Riverdale Warriors as they take on Columbia Central next Friday night. This has been the Riverdale segment on the Coaches Show, brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're talking.
Get ready for an unforgettable night and support First Shot. Autumn at the Alley is coming to Oakland's Mansion Tuesday, September 24th from 6 to 9 p.m. Sip on fine bourbon, wine, and spirits, enjoy premium cigars, and feast on incredible food from the Alley on Main, all while enjoying live music under the stars. Proceeds benefit First Shot's Academic All-Stars and Send the Kid to Camp programs. Find out more on their Facebook page and through Eventbrite. Autumn at the Alley, September 24th.
Insurance, you will save money. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and I'd love to talk to you about combining your auto and renter's insurance to help you save. Call me 615-895-2700.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose. You do anything to protect your kids. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and it's important to protect them with life insurance. I can make it easy and affordable for you to protect your family.
Hey there, it's Brian, and as a customer of First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, I've seen firsthand how they go above and beyond. They have the Gateway and Memorial Boulevard locations, along with 9 more across Middle Tennessee. They make it easy to get the help I need, and I can always talk to a real person. That's a big deal nowadays. That's why I trust First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. They're always there when I need them.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019 100.5, 1450 wgnssports.com and Big G TV.
Back here on the Coaches Show to talk some Smyrna football, as the Coaches Show is brought to you in part by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Matt Williams, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs, joins us this morning. And, Coach, there's no better place to be on a Friday night than at Smyrna High School, and we certainly enjoyed our time there to broadcast last night's game. And Rockvale, Smyrna, I guess the first time is that the first time the two teams have played each other?
No, we played for the last number of years. Yeah, we played each other probably for the last 6 years or so, I guess.
Well, it is the first time as a region game, though.
Yeah, it is first time as a region game, but a good atmosphere last night, and I thought the crowd was, really, really good and loud, and the Light Rockville brought a lot of people, so, good night all around.
Nothing against the old region, but I did say in the broadcast, and maybe I shouldn't, but I said, Smyrna, you're probably glad this isn't Cane Ridge in a region game, that Rockville is here, because look at the crowd here. I mean, the place was packed.
Yeah, I mean, it brings together more, natural county rivals and rivalries. And, I was one of the things I was excited about when they announced that. I knew we were going to be able, because we played a lot of those guys. We played Siegel, Riverdale, Rockville regularly the last number of years, Riverdale for a lot of years, Siegel the same thing. So, it's not been that big of an adjustment for us as far as that was concerned. But definitely going to help the gates and the crowds, and that's good for your kids, your players, your student body, your band, everybody, and just creates a better atmosphere, and we enjoy that.
So you and I have both seen a lot of football over the years. I'm not sure that I've seen some things that I saw last night in that game. I mean, you guys are down 2:22 to play. You're down 3-0, and then you blink, and 2 minutes and 22 seconds later on the clock, you're up 21-3. That was an interesting series. Have you ever been part of something like that kind of turnaround?
I'm sure I have. But I can't even come to mind real quick. But we were, defensively, I thought early on we were excellent. They drove the ball and threatened us some, and we were able to get them to miss a field goal the first time they tried one there, and they hit a field goal to go up 3-0. But I thought we really did a good job on defense, keeping them out of the end zone, and then we get down there and have an opportunity to score, and mess up the snap, which still don't quite understand what happened there. But mess up the snap, was very disappointed, and get on defense the very next play, and they turn the ball over. So we get the ball in the end zone there and go up. But then, like you say, you have a barrage there where they try a field goal right before half. I think it was 14-3 at the time, I'm not mistaken. And, they try a long field goal. And Jerry Martin was just a man last night. He blocked 2 field goals last night. He blocked both of them. But the one, Corey Weathers, Corey had a big night. He returned it, had an interception return for a touchdown, and that field goal block return for a touchdown. And one was like 53-yard return, the other one 40. But just a big play there that put us at 21-3 at half. A lot of momentum shifts there, but I was proud of our kids for how they stayed resilient. We struggled offensively early, but I felt like once we got a rhythm, I thought we played much better. I thought our offensive line did a good job. And, Zeke Key, I think, was 13-20 for 183 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he did some good things as well.
When your defense can score, when you can score in all 3 phases of the game, it's really big. But to me, there's just something about a block field goal and scoring on that, or an interception return for a touchdown. Those things really ignite the whole football team. I mean, it makes the offense play better. But when your defense and special teams can score, I don't know this for a fact, but they probably those two of the 3 parts of a football team probably had half of the scoring or close to it last night.
Yeah, we had 14 points. There on swing, the interception and that. But yeah, I think it's plays that people sometimes take for granted. You have field goal tries, PAT tries all the time, and you don't think much of it. You have punts all the time, and when one gets blocked or something, you get a big return for a touchdown. It's sort of a little bit of a jolt and a shot in the arm. And, definitely, obviously, I felt like we put together our most complete game in all 3 phases. We've struggled at times on offense. And defensively, we've been pretty good. It's just we've had a penchant for giving up a big play here or there. And I thought last night we did much, much better at that, obviously. And, just proud of our kids, how they played. And, I thought up front on defense, Jerry Martin was a terror last night, and Anthony Staples did a good job. And, I thought Brody Hines did some good things. And, you had Score there, had interception, but you also had, some of our other guys that were playing with Vincent Morgan, I thought played well at safety last night. And there's a lot of kids showing up, and just proud of how they played. And it's we were 1-3 coming in there and had a very disappointing loss to Siegel last week, where we had a chance late to tie that ball game up and didn't, and got beat. And so for our kids to come back and work like they did this week, I was really proud of them.
Matt Williams, our guest here on the Coach's Show, talking Smyrna football. One more thing about your defense last night. If the defense didn't score, or score off that special teams play, your defense that forced turnovers gave the ball back to your offense in really good positions last night as well on a couple of your touchdowns. So it's important to have a good defense, and I know you believe in that.
Oh, yeah. We've always, that's always been sort of a thing with us, and we've tried to stress physicality and relentless defense. And Coach Villarreal, our defensive staff, do a great job. And we've got a really, really experienced defensive staff that does a really good job. And, we sort of made a flip in the spring. We were a 4-2-5 team, which is sort of what I've always run for the most part. And we just saw some things personnel-wise that we were concerned with, so we switched to a 3-4 defense, and I think the staff's done a really good job being able to do that. Just proud of how they've done that. And, you had kids like Ryland German last night who came in and caused, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first turnover there. Right after we turned it over, he punched the ball out down there when they were backed up and got us the ball back where we could score there. So, you got kids all over the place trying to create turnovers and create big plays and take the football away from the offense. So, that was good to see last night. I thought offensively, like I said, I thought we got a lot better. I thought Will McKnight, our center, played really well. I'm in here grading film right now. I thought he played well. Getting our tailback, Christian Beatty, back, he's not played since week 1. That was good for us as well. I
was going to mention Beatty. He had over 60 yards last night, but I mean, when you needed a hard yard or two, if you just sit back pass all night, what's the defense going to do? So, I mean, he really kind of came in and gave you that off balance look to, just not have Rockville sit back and wait on you.
Yeah, I mean they present some problems defensively. They're odd, sort of odd look. It's 3-3 stackish, but not really. It's sort of Iowa State 3 safety look. And I thought our offensive line handled that really well because they give a lot of exotic looks. And I thought we did a good job getting the hat on the hat all night. And thought Mark Williams, offensive coordinator, did a really good job with some run scheme stuff he came up with. And offensive staff did a really good job there. But yeah, I think Beatty added a little bit of a spark to us. And they've got Rockville's got some good players. Their number 8 on D-line is about as good as you'll see around the area. And number 9, both those kids are really, really good. Offensively, they got some kids. I know they had some kids move in from Webb School or somewhere. I think, don't quote me, I don't know, I may be wrong. Number 3, maybe one of them, but he is a player. I mean, absolutely, that wide receiver, he's a stud.
Yeah.
So, we bent but didn't break, thank goodness, because he had a big night, and their quarterback made some really good throws to him. So hats off to them for some of those plays they made. But, yeah, he's a special player. So I was proud of our second half. We made some adjustments in the second half, I think, to help us with that.
Zeke Key last night, in the last 2 weeks, Coach, he's thrown for 180 yards. So, I mean, that's pretty special. Welcome back.
He's doing a good job, and we had a deal in the preseason where, and I'll be honest, they don't mind me saying I tested them, but I don't think anybody really wanted to take the quarterback position. And we started out, and I think Zeke is sort of figured some things out as far as work ethic, and as far as body language and demeanor and all that stuff. And I think confidence-wise, he's growing. I think that was a problem for him as well. That's hard. Being a young quarterback, it's hard gaining those things. And I think he's really given us a shot in the arm. I thought he played well last week in the loss. Made some good throws. We had 2 interceptions last week, but like I said last week, only one I felt like was on him. The other one was a batted ball off the receiver's chest. So, last time I thought he was really good protecting the football. Didn't have any just, careless throws. And just proud of how Zeke played last night. He had some early setbacks, and I thought he fought back from those beautifully.
And he's overcome some adversity, things of that nature, to get to this role in the last 2 weeks. I mean, you've seen him kind of blossom right in front of your eyes, and that's really good for Smyrna football, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it starts at quarterback, and he's got. We knew the talent-wise, the arm talent things. We knew that was there. That wasn't the issue, and he's fixed a lot of the other intangible things that we needed him to. And I think we've settled in and found a guy, and that's exciting because when you don't have a guy and you don't know who the guy is, it's very concerning for a football offense. But Zeke's done a good job coming in, and I think receivers Scoreweather's had some big catches for us last night. Yanni Morales, also had some big plays, and was proud of Yanni. He did some good things for us last night, and there were times we were backed up on the chains, and he made big plays, so that was good to see.
I guess around 90 yards on 4 catches for him last night. It's unbelievable to think that we're at this midway point in the season, and just to kind of underscore the importance of that game for you guys last night. 0-2 in the region going into that game. It was almost a must-win, and we talked about that on our short car ride together, me and John and Rod last night, that, as good of a team and experienced coach and all backed up against the wall, needing a win, it was going to be a fight. And you needed that one last night, and your kids came through.
Yeah, they're all playoff games, and we said that, we said it to our kids, and, that started really after SEGA, obviously. We knew they were all playoff games. And the thing is, we've got a lot of really good teams in this region, and, we're only going to be worried about the next one, which is Coffee County. But we know it's going to be a battle every week in this region. Good coaches, good players, and good programs. And, I think our kids are taking that to heart. And our kids, we've got a bunch of kids that work hard. And I knew, I tell you, everybody kept asking me how good we were going to be. And I said, well, I'm being honest, don't know yet. I said, we've got a group that's about to learn on the run and that haven't played a lot of football on Friday night, because offensively, I think we returned 3 kids, only one started on the offensive line, and a receiver or 2 that played. They weren't necessarily starters, though. If you got down to it, we had 1 or 2 starters coming back. So I knew it was going to be a growth thing on offense, and that's what's happened. But we got 33 juniors and a group of seniors that are determined, and those juniors, a lot of them are just taking Friday night experience to get them, comfortable. But I think it's something we're going to keep getting better. And I heard a quote the other night that I really agreed with. I think it was Mac Brown talking on the podcast, talking about, you know, the difference between sometimes it's not necessarily learning how to win, it's learning how not to lose. You know, and sometimes you got to do those little things to not lose the game. And early on, you know, some of the games we've lost, we've had a key penalty or a key, you know, mistake in key situations that have just really hurt us. So I think our kids are getting better at that week by week, and it's been exciting to see.
Well, let's turn the page to next week, and you've got Coffee County coming in. I know it's homecoming. Coffee County, and I think they lost last night, but last week they had a 1-point win over Franklin. They're in a tough region themselves. Coffee County deserves some respect.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the record's the same as ours, and they're in a really good quality region in the Williams County region, and they're not going to be intimidated by us. Before that, they were in the Rutherford County region. So it's you know, this is going to be a normal deal for them, and they're not going to come to Smyrna and be big-eyed. They're not going to, you know, they were at Independence this past week and, you know, have gone you know, a lot of big places. And so they're going to be comfortable. They're going to have a good football team. And I've watched them a little bit. They're big up front on defense and do a good job. Or, you know, 3-4 defense. Offense, we got a quarterback that can really spin it and a good player. So anytime you have those two things, you got an opponent that's going to be a problem. And, you know, we're going to have to be really well prepared. And, you know, the biggest thing for us is we got to, you know, I talk to our kids. You know, you can divide, to me, a high school football season into 3 parts, and you look back and say how you did the first 5. Well, our first 5 were 2-3, and you know, you are what your record is. So we've got to own that and learn from it and work from there and make our corrections. And you know, the story will be told largely on the second 5 how we are going into the playoffs. And so we've got to do a great job, and you can't have any letdowns. We've got some momentum here. We've sort of been consistent. You start off with a 1-point loss to Brentwood, then you win at Hendersonville. Then you get blown out by Oakland, and then you lose a heartbreaker to Siegel. And now last night had a you know, big win. So we've got to keep that momentum going.
Well, good luck in all of that next week and homecoming. And I know that you know, Smyrna always does it upright. I tell you what, find perfect night for football last night. We really had a good time. Jeff Shipley takes care of us, Dr. Sutherland, and you really got a great place to be. I guess that's why you've been there so long, right?
Yeah, that people have been blessed to have good leaders. You know, Mr. Rakes believed in me, and I got to hug his neck last night.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dr. Sutherland does a great job, and you know, I've been blessed to have good leadership, and you know, they've stuck. You know, it's hard to find loyal people who understand the rigors of high school football and run the football program. And you know, we've had our ups and we've had our downs, but I've been lucky to work with understanding people who are just good quality people and good human beings.
Well, you're one of those, Matt. Appreciate you joining us this morning, and good luck against the Red Raiders next Friday.
All right, Brian, I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir. That is Matt Williams joining us, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs on The Coaches Show, brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get legal help when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day.
Do you love WGNS Radio? Well, now you can watch it too. WGNS Big G TV brings your favorite radio shows live and on demand. From breaking news and community talk to Rutherford County's top local sports. We've got it all right at your fingertips. Watch anytime, anywhere. WGNS Big G TV, where radio comes to life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las Casas Feed Supply. I'm selling beef and pork, 100% Angus, raised here in Las Casas. Come get you some.
Everyone's favorite cuts available, even options to purchase a quarter of a steer.
We got the beef. Hello, everybody. Las Casas Feed Supply.
Family owned and operated, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East.
Don't let concerns about today's events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand the impact of these events and make sure that your goals are top of mind. While you can't control market volatility, we'll help focus on what you can control. We can connect in several virtual ways. Start by giving me a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
Our Coaches Show conversation here about Blackman football brought to you in part by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, lettered jackets, yearbooks, all kinds of great things, graduation products, and much more online at jhacompany.com. Time to talk some Blackman football. Matt Kreisky joins us. Team victorious last night over Laverne, 49-0. Biggest, well, good morning to you first.
Yeah, can I start off? We finally get Floyd and my brother out of here before I come in, and now I get picked on by,
you have the host, John, picking on you.
Picking on me, so I thought now that we got those two guys out of the way, it'd be smooth sailing coming here, but I don't guess so.
Well, you don't know what he said to Floyd and Will either. But anyway, he's just kind of a rare mood today, I guess. Okay. It must be because it's Blackman Oakland week coming up. But we're going to talk about that later. A region win's a region win. You got to rack them up, and you were able to do that last night.
All week, you never want to have a letdown. So all week, our focus is being 1-0. Taking care of business this week. I thought we had a better week of practice than we did the week before. That's one thing I challenged the guys and told them that we have to have a better week of practice this week than we did last week. I thought we did that. Thought we had a better Tuesday than we did last Tuesday. We had a better Wednesday than we did the previous Wednesday. So I was pretty pleased with that. One of the big things I was worried about is homecoming. So many distractions. But I got to give a shout out to our student council. Mr. Breed and the administration did an outstanding job with the Blackman homecoming festivities. If you ever been over there and seen the homecoming, you got a parade in the morning, you got a pep rally, you got big things going on in the afternoon, games. All the teachers and everyone involved did an outstanding job to make it memorable for the high school students, and and our kids did a great job. Something I always worried about. They came down to the field house around 1:30, and they either laid around, got on, played some video games, but it was absolutely quiet. I don't know if it's been that way in the past 3 years I've been there. So I was impressed. I said something to the coaches once they got down there, how impressed I was with the kids last night, and I think that says something about our team, our maturity, and how we're growing. And so I was proud of them, and then before the game, I was challenging them about starting fast. Can we start fast, or can we start fast 2 weeks in a row? And we did, and we came out and drove the ball down there and scored, and we got going. Made a silly mistake on the second drive. Didn't run the play right. But other than that, I thought offensively played well. Defensively, I believe we have 3 interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. Recovered a fumble on a punt. So proud of the guys, proud of the team, proud of the Blackman community, student section, did an outstanding job. Fans, everybody. It was a fun night of football.
You know, when everything can come together and homecoming week and all that, I know you coaches just worry about how's everybody going to react to this, because you've got a mission. You all are very much detail oriented, and you want things to go exactly the same way every day. Every Tuesday is supposed to be just like this, and that just offers another wrinkle to try to get through.
And then that's my biggest thing, that I always want everything to be perfect. I want every practice to be perfect, every Friday night to be perfect, but it's not. And so the way the kids handled it yesterday was great. I thought our quarterback Javion is, he's averaging around 140 yards a game passing. He had 3 touchdowns. Again, Brylan O'Dore had another big touchdown catch this week. He's one of his big targets, and so really doing a great job building his relationship with these receivers. Kari Dixon had a touchdown reception. And Bryson Mitchell had 2 catches, I believe 56, 59 yards, and a touchdown reception. So it was good to see that. Micah Nance, our sophomore tailback, I believe had 9 carries for 100 yards. So things were clicking last night, and we can't. I told them enjoy it tonight. We can't be satisfied. We got to turn the page tomorrow. And start getting ready for Oakland, because we know it's going to be a big game. It'll be a packed house next Friday night at the Inferno.
Sure will. Micah had a touchdown run last night as well, and Javion saw he was 5 of 6 for his 140 yards, so that's 28 yards per pass. I think you'd take that every night.
This kid he does great. I like how his demeanor, how he carries himself. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. He's just even keel, and just is able to run our offense smoothly and executing. And is he perfect in everything? No, he's not. But he does a great job of getting everyone lined up and doing what we're supposed to do. So I was really impressed with that. And he knows. I think the past 2 weeks, we've challenged him to have great games, the whole team. And I think we've gotten better. Hopefully building for next week.
On the defensive side, pitch the shutout. I know everybody that is defensive minded, they love to get that, and really you all have played the last several weeks really well on that side of the ball.
Yeah, Coach Crosby, Coach Holman, Coach White, Coach Gregory, they do an outstanding job with our defense. And one thing we got depth. They rotate a lot of guys on defense and do a great job. And so thought it was good. A good night for them last night, even whenever, second half we were playing some of our younger guys. I believe we had 2 younger guys, a junior, Braden Smith, and a sophomore, V. Dixon, both had an interception. V almost returned it back for a touchdown, but he ran out of gas a little bit at the end. So getting those younger guys again in on Friday nights is always huge, because those are guys we're expecting to play down the road.
Well, that maybe running out of gas a little bit, he's not going to want to let that happen the next time he has that opportunity. So that's going to make him work harder and everything,
Yeah, it is, and it was good for those guys to get out there and get some reps on Friday night.
That is very important, isn't it? We've been kind of talking some this morning about the development, freshman teams, JV teams, and really the focus here. And I'm not sure if that's the case at other places where you've been, but I mean, it even starts on Saturdays with all those little kids putting on the orange and navy.
Yeah, it's very important. Coach Nate does an outstanding job getting those youth guys going and getting them ready, getting them prepared for middle school, and then the middle school guys get them ready. One thing about our middle school, anytime I go to all the home games, it's packed on Tuesday nights at Blackman. The middle school games, our middle school administration and football staff do an outstanding job of creating a Tuesday night atmosphere for those kids, and so that's something they look forward to when they come across the street is get that same type of atmosphere. And like you said, on Saturdays, it starts with Saturdays with the youth league, moves up to middle school and then high school. It's pretty neat to see. Any time there's an event, a football event at Blackman, it's pretty much packed.
Well, you can kind of tell when all of that is working together when you see 8, 9, 10-year-old kids wearing the Flaming Bee that also get to wear the same thing at high school, and they get to play in high school, and then because that's they want to be like those high school kids, and so that builds community. You don't I don't think a lot of people realize you don't get that in a big town like this, in a big city. You might get it at a smaller single A school, 2A school. You see that, but to have that at Blackman, it's pretty special.
Yeah. That's one of the things that, like you said, is pretty neat, is seeing some of these kids that have gone through the youth league, middle school, and high school, and on senior night to see their pictures of wearing the B throughout their entire career. That's pretty special. We had 2 former players come back last night, Isaiah Molina and Rodney Irvin, who I believe both of them grew up in the youth league, middle school, and high school at Blackman. They came and they're both of them on bye weeks. Isaiah's at Rhodes, Rodney's at Lindsey Wilson. So their Friday night off, they could have been doing anything, but they came and wanted to stand on the sideline with us and supporting the guys. And so I think that's pretty neat. It's kind of the culture we're trying to build. Those guys know that they're always welcome back home.
Yeah, and Matt Kreisky's here with us talking Blackman football. We during the week interview a lot of people, and the city mayor is on frequently. About a couple of months ago, he said something on the air that really stuck with me, that if Blackman was its own city, it would be the 6th or 7th largest city in the state of Tennessee. That's how that big that community is right there. And the high school is really the center point of that, and it's really been embraced. And I think that's a model when new schools come along, this 25-year plus model is a good one to look at.
Yeah, and like I said, with homecoming festivities and the parade, it was packed on both sides, all the way through the middle, going through the middle school, going through the elementary school, and back around. Not just the students at each school, but also there's a lot of people that come out and watch the parade, and it's pretty neat. I was able to be a part of a parade whenever I was at Forest and in Chapel Hill, and I thought that was pretty neat. But it kind of gives me the same feeling, like you said. You see those things at a 1A, 2A type schools, but at a 6A school, you usually don't see stuff like that, and it's pretty neat and pretty special how all 3 schools get together and we're able to do something special for the community and the kids, and to make it fun for them on one night a year on Friday night.
Well, we're 5 weeks into a 10-game schedule, so have reached the midway point, and it couldn't have gone any better for you guys, 5-0.
Yes, and again, I tell the guys, I'm not a big, I don't like talking about being 5-0. I want to focus on the next opponent, because I don't want these guys to start overlooking anybody. There's nobody on our schedule that we can overlook and think that we don't have to practice well, that we don't think we can't show up on Friday nights. Like you said, this is Rutherford County region. Yeah. It's tough week in and week out. I don't care who you're playing.
In this league, a 5-5 team may not make the playoffs.
Correct. So there's no week offs here. We have nothing but region games left, and so each week is very important for us, and we've got to come ready and focus and take care of business Monday through Friday and be ready to show up Friday nights at 7 o'clock, ready to play.
Well, the next opponent is the Oakland Patriots. They are also in the same boat as you are, undefeated, and this, I guess everybody in Rutherford County is a rival, but let's just face it, we've been this league has been chasing the Oakland Patriots to try to reach the top of the region, and that's everybody's goal here of late, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, they are. I believe it's been since 2014 since Blackman has defeated Oakland. So that's one of the things that we hope to whenever we came to Blackman's. Hopefully we can get to that point. Coach Creasy and his staff, y'all know he does an outstanding job. They're well prepared each and every week. I don't know if I know another coach in this state that studies film and really studies this game and as well as Coach Creasy does. He'll have those guys prepared from top to bottom. Really impressed year in and year out how he does things. So we're trying to get our program to that level where we can compete with them. Each and every year. And I think our guys, since I've been here, have always accepted the challenge. We just been on the short end of the stick. Felt like we got really close last year. A few things here and there, a few mistakes. could have been different, but it is what it is, and we got to keep getting better each and every week. And I think we've done that from the previous 2 years, and building on this season. So we're hoping to give those guys a challenge on Friday night.
Well, definitely not a game that you probably have to get your guys hyped up to play, is it?
No, and that's one thing. These guys are, his guys will be ready, our guys will be ready, and it'll be a big good night of football here in Rutherford County. And I'm assuming it's gonna be a packed house. There's gonna be a lot of people in the Rutherford County area come out and watch this game.
Well, surprise, surprise, it is our broadcast game next Friday night, and we look forward to coming out and bringing the folks coverage who can't make it. But I always say I'd rather you not listen and go to the game, or listen somehow at the game, but get to a game.
Just do me a favor, make sure John behaves next Friday.
I have to have security, and Scott Lawless has to help. I mean, he's a handful every Friday.
We'll get Mr. Lawless on that.
Yeah, we need to. Appreciate you coming in, Coach. Matt Kreisky joining us this morning on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Rick Hall and Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna. Give Rick a call for auto, home, business, and life insurance needs. More online about him and the whole Rayburn team at rayburn.net.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Life's too short to stress about insurance. That's why Ray Call at Rayburn Insurance is here to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. Danny Brewer here. Happy to be with you on a lovely Saturday morning with Mr. Aaron Pitts, Coach Aaron Pitts, I should say, of Laverne. Coach Pitts, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you in the studio. Let's just kind of educate me and the rest of the listening world out there. Who is Aaron Pitts? Where are you from, Coach Pitts?
I'm originally from South Mississippi. I came up here to Tennessee, played football at MTSU under Andy McCullum, and graduated and stayed. It's a great place to live, great place to raise a family, and my family and I, we love it here.
Well, outstanding. Well, we're happy to have you in Middle Tennessee here. Coach Mack, I love Coach Andy Mack, super good guy. One of the things that Andy Mack was always good at was giving you great quotes. I mean, he could always come up with something. I love Coach McCollum.
Yeah, he's definitely great at giving quotes. Really taught us a whole lot as men. As you know, he did a great job of coaching us, but he also did a great job of showing us how to be a man and showing us never to quit and always give everything you got and just work as hard as you possibly can.
Well, because in the Andy McCollum days, it wasn't easy at middle because that was when they made the transition. When he took the job, you made the transition to what I call 1A football, and it was a struggle the first couple of years, but y'all had some really good years and really made an outstanding showing of yourselves. So that you're right about the struggle, because early it was a struggle.
Yeah, and that's one thing that he definitely told us. It would, there'll be brighter days ahead. Just keep your head down and keep working and keep grinding, and that's one thing that sticks with us right now. So we're very excited to be at Laverne, and all the lessons that he taught us at MTSU, we're definitely leaning on those right now.
Yeah, so the background that you have is from South Mississippi and all this stuff. Tell me what you coach at Laverne.
At Laverne, I'm the offensive coordinator and the one of the offensive line coaches. We are, we try to coach everything at Coach Johnson does a great job with all the coaches are helping out on both sides of the ball, but because of our situation, but Coach Johnson does a great job as far as roles and responsibilities, and everybody knows what they're supposed to do, and everybody's trying to help everybody at Laverne.
So you told me that last year you were at Laverne, I guess, as a teacher.
Yes, sir.
And then this is your first year of coaching football at Laverne. Is this your first time of coaching high school football, or did you coach somewhere else?
So I was a head coach at Stratford High School. I've been a head coach at Marshall County High School, and I was a head coach in Georgia at Jasper County High School. I actually started my coaching career at Siegel High School, and I coached at Laverne High School at Blackman High School for 3 years.
Oh, outstanding! So you got your feet really, really wet.
Yes, sir.
Stratford. When I think of that, I think Corey Fleming and Joe Campbell. Was he Stratford too?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So that was some proud tradition there at Stratford for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a great situation and a great place to be in when I was there. That was my first head coaching job, and so it taught me a whole lot about the job, the position of being a head coach. Obviously as coaches, we're competitive and we want to win, but it taught me a whole lot about being, showing those kids how to be men. And, football's not going to be with you always. Football's the only sport where it's 100% chance you're going to get hurt. So at some point, everybody has to say bye to football. So, it was good for me to teach those guys how to be more than just football players.
Well, because in essence, it's a training ground for life. Am I right?
Yes. Football is one of the greatest teachers of life. And, we try to use those lessons every day. And like I said, those lessons that Coach McCullum taught me and my high school football coaches taught me, I use every day.
So what position did you play for Coach Andy Mack?
I played cornerback.
Cornerback, all right.
Yes, sir. I was the nickel back. They had just started we were a spread team, and so they had just started going to spread all over the country. And when I came to MTSU, I was the nickel back. I was the nickel corner when they kind of just started instituting that position.
Yeah, and now everybody, especially in that level of football, everybody plays the spread offense kind of.
Yeah, it kind of took over college football, and obviously that fell down to high school football, and everybody wants to see spread and throw the ball and all those kinds of things. But football is one of the greatest games just because it's I have to line up against that guy across from me, and it's just who's going to take each other's wheel. So we're trying to get to that at Laverne.
So let's talk a little bit about the Wolverine way. I know Coach Johnson, it's his first year as the head coach down there. At times there's been success at Laverne, at times there's not. But tell me a little bit about what you guys are trying to institute now as far as the Wolverine way, your version of that.
Well, the one thing Coach Johnson's trying to do is institute a culture of winning, and not only winning on the football field, but winning in the classroom, winning in the community, winning at home. He's big about culture, and his motto is our moment, and you got to have momentum to get to that moment. So for him, it's more about how you behave in the classroom, how you behave in the community. And if you're winning in those areas and you're showing up to practice every day, eventually the tide will turn at Laverne. We really believe that. Coach Johnson does a great job as far as leading men. He's a pastor outside of football, so he does a great job as far as getting them to understand there's a certain way that we have to do things. We call it the Laverne way, and that way is doing it right every time. And we're trying to bring that culture there where, we're not seeing the results on the scoreboard just yet, but we know that tide will turn just like it did at MTSU. You just keep the faith, you keep doing the right things, and eventually things will turn your way.
I love that, keep the faith, because that's really what it's all about. And like we talked about, training ground for life, all that kind of stuff. Do the little things, the big things take care of themselves.
Yeah, it's a process. It obviously, as a coach, of your ego, and, you see the scoreboard and you just shake your head and you're just like, man, it's a struggle to do that. But The kids are still showing up. The kids are still excited. Our administration, Dr. Hatchett and Coach Jones, Mr. Jones, they do a tremendous job supporting us and helping us and being behind us. So we definitely appreciate them. And the kids will they'll see it. You know, right now it's tough and it's a struggle, but we know there are brighter days coming for Laverne High School.
Last night, things obviously didn't go the way you wanted. Lost to Blackman 49-0. But let's talk a little bit about the positives. Tell me what you liked as the offensive coordinator. Tell me what you liked about what you saw last night in the game.
Well, one thing I can say is we have a lot of young kids playing, and they're just getting experience. And there's no better teacher than experience. So the thing I like is they never quit. Blackman has a tremendous team. Coach Kreisky does a phenomenal job, he and his staff, at what they do. They're always in the right spots. You could tell they're coached well. You could tell they know what they're doing. But what I see for us is our kids never quit. Our kids continue to battle. And again, they're young, so they're just getting experience, and they're still asking questions. Coach, how can I do this better? Coach, how can I fix this? So as long as we stay on that trajectory, we'll be fine.
So let's talk a little bit about defense. Tell me a little bit about defense and what happened defensively that you liked last night as far as effort and things like that.
Well, again, kids showed tremendous effort on defense. Obviously, they had some big plays. Some things didn't go our way. But like Coach Johnson said, we can put you in the right spot. Eventually, that freshman or sophomore that's out there playing, he'll be a junior, senior, so he'll make those plays. So I think the kids just being there, knowing their assignment, now we just have to execute the assignment.
Well, and really that's what it boils down to, because the greatest game plan in the world means nothing without execution.
Yeah, and our kids, they're trying. They're again, we love our kids. We love the effort. We're not getting it on the scoreboard, but we know we are behind our kids. We believe our kids are behind us, and we know our administration is behind us. And we're just, again, those plays that they're in position to make right now that they're not making, they'll make those hopefully soon.
There you go. That's all about faith. And I think it comes from the leadership. And if the kids – and I don't know Coach Johnson real well, but met him. I'm impressed with him. I think he's a very good man. So as long as you continue to do the right things, then you're setting the example.
Yeah, Coach Johnson is a phenomenal leader. We were college roommates in college, so I know him very well. He's one of my best friends. I know the kind of man he is, and I know how hard he works. So I know we're going to turn it around, and the kids are going to do what they're supposed to do. It's just a process, and it's not an easy process, but you just got to stay with the process, keep believing, keep having faith. And again, brighter days are coming.
So college roommates, well, that's pretty neat that you've kind of like, you guys went to battle as college football players, and now you're going to battle as high school coaches. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, when he asked me to come on his staff, I was tickled to death. Again, I know what kind of man he is, and I know the things that he has planned for Laverne. And I know how hard he works, and I know what he wants to do for the program. But not only the program, he's a community guy, so I know what he wants to do for the community. And I know his heart, and I know that the kids are in good hands.
So when we talk about community, you told me some of your coaching history, so I know you've been in this county. You understand the rivalries also. Stewart's Creek is who you got, I guess. Are you at Stewart's Creek, or is it at home this week?
It's a home game.
Home game, because I think you got 7 home games this year, right?
Yes, sir.
So
yeah.
I guess that's good news this year. Next year, 7 road games. But anyway, Stewart's Creek, come to town. Tell me a little bit about what you guys got going, because it's a big rivalry, because, I mean, they're your neighbor.
Well, we know they do a good job over there, and, they've had the upper hand on us the past couple years that they've had to play. For us, we're trying to make this, how can Laverne get better? Not more about Stewart's Creek, it's more about us. How can we fix our mistakes? How can we correct the things that we're doing wrong? We know that they're going to be well coached. We know that they're going to play hard. We know that they're going to be up for this game. We know it's a rivalry game. So for us, it's more about, are you going to do the little things? Are you going to, be where you're supposed to be and do what you're supposed to do when it's time for the game?
So as we maintaining focus for this, that's obviously always a challenge every week with high school kids, but is it a little bit more special this week because of it being Stewart's Creek?
Well, it's always a big matchup when we play Stewart's Creek, and like you said, it is one game is not bigger than the other one, but we know that there's a little extra oomph when you make a tackle or when you try to block somebody because it is Stewart's Creek. And like I said, they do such a great job over there. So we're just hoping that we can match the intensity and our kids can come out and play mistake-free football.
Because when the lights come on, the crowd should be pretty good, and so there will be a little bit more something in the air.
Oh, it'll definitely be an exciting atmosphere. Coach Johnson does a great job of getting the atmosphere right at Laverne Stadium. And
I think you got some good things going on over there at Laverne. If you want to see a really good competitive football game, I'd say go over there to the Wolverine Den and check out Stewart's Creek at Laverne. Coach Pitts, we certainly appreciate your time and wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me. Go Wolverines.
There you go. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Las Casas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
The Patriot discount. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. You know I'm better than a bologna sandwich right now because I got Kevin Creasy, head football coach of the Oakland Patriots, with us. Coach Creasy, how are you this morning?
Good.
You know, it's a wonderful day, coming off of another big win. Let's talk 38-0. Siegel, they were 2-0 in the district coming in last year. You went to their place, road shutout. Got to be pleased with the defense. Only allowed, I think, 133 total yards.
Yeah. Defense, and they've been playing lights out all year long. Really good players on defense for us, and do a good job of taking away the deep balls and block destruction, making tackles, flying to the ball, all the things you want. Coach Watson's our D coordinator. He's doing a great job, David Watson, and then going and playing Siegel on the road. Knew it was going to be a tough matchup. I think it was 17-0 at halftime, so it was pretty close, and I think Siegel's got a really good team this year. 3-1, beat a good Cookeville team, turned right back around, and had some real close games with Smyrna, and I think they're potentially one of the playoff teams. So you got to make sure that you're ready to play every week, and just like our region, we got another tough one coming up next week.
You sure do, Coach, because every game is tough in this region.
That's right.
Just to elaborate a little bit more on the defense, your offense has been really, really good and you've been very successful, lots of big plays. Also, do you think that at times people don't give your defense enough credit? Because defense has been a big key in all of these victories that you've had over the years, too.
Oh, no doubt. And that's the thing you notice about good teams is a lot of times offense gets all the credit, but the defense puts them in position to score. I just got through watching a film of Blackman, and their offense is really good. Quarterback's phenomenal, but their defense set them up in great positions with 3 turnovers and, just being really tough, against the run and the pass. And so, a lot of times, offenses get credit because you just look at the points. But, out of our 38 points, I'd say 28 of them were probably set up by our defense.
So let's talk a little bit about your offense. Balanced last night. Good running, good passing. Tell me a little bit about the offense.
Yeah, we played 2 quarterbacks, and both quarterbacks did really good. I think both of them had, a touchdown apiece, and both of them were able to run the ball. And then as far as spreading the wealth a little bit, we kind of get guys out in space with the ball, and I thought Will Millsap had a heck of a game. Craig Tudd, of course, is steady as always, and you just can name 4 or 5 guys. Deontay Short had some really good runs for us. But yeah, I think we threw it around, to different targets. I think we ran the ball with a bunch of different running backs. We got 6 senior running backs. So it's always good to get all of them involved. I think every one of them had a carry, and every one of them had some positive yards. But ultimately, you got to make sure that those guys up front are blocking. And I thought our O-line did a heck of a job last night.
Running the football always been a key. It's a key at every level. If you run the football, you win. You had 8 different kids carry the football. Then you just touched on that. Depth, that's got to be good at running back.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, you get fresh legs in there. You get guys that, I think a big deal is what do you do when you don't have the ball in your hands. So, that's why some guys like Will Millsap's on the field, because when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's doing a heck of a job of blocking. A lot of unselfish guys out there. Justice Haggard, he's a phenomenal runner, but at the same time, he's doing a great job of blocking. So, those guys, what makes them the best at what we're trying to do is they're great route runners. They can catch the ball. They got, the best hands on the team a lot of times are our running backs. And then, of course, they're really good physical blockers, and then they're also really good running backs. So it's kind of the triple threat with those guys, and they compete with each other. There's a open competition at running back every single day in practice. And then, of course, our quarterbacks are going through the same thing. We've got 3 offensive tackles that are, fighting for 2 positions. We got 3 offensive guards fighting for 2 positions. And so it's just competition. It kind of makes the world go round. And that's what we kind of strive for. We go good on good, our offense against our defense. And because of that, we get better every week.
3 different kids average over 10 yards a carry, which, just to touch on what you just said about when I used to cover a lot of Tennessee football. Me and Coach Fulmer was buddies, and one of the things he said that made them good, and they were really good during his heyday, was the internal competition. He said our internal team competition, that's what makes us good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you think back to those teams he had in the 90s, they had some really good running backs with Cobb and Webb and Henry and all those guys. They just kept on producing NFL running backs. And, competition, it's big. And like I said, a lot of our guys are going both ways, so they're playing on defense. And so when they need a little, rest or something, we've got guys that we can plug in and play running back and do really good for us.
So, Coach, we got to mention horse racing. It's the Pennsylvania Derby today. Baeza, he's the morning line favorite, trained by a boy named John Sheriffs, kind of a Zen master guy. And I asked, because Baeza's been like a mystery horse, he runs good sometimes he don't. I compared it to moonshine. I said, well, how good is the proof? You shake the moonshine up, you see the bubbles, smaller, bigger the proof. He said, well, the difference between a racehorse and moonshine is moonshine's always clear, racehorses are not. You're 5-0. How clear is your team right now?
Yeah, I think next week tells the story. I think you're halfway through the regular season. You know a little bit about yourself, but ultimately, when you get in a pressure cooker like you're about to get into over at Blackman, a region game, it's more important than these non-region games. We play a bunch of tough guys in our non-region schedule to hopefully get us ready for this, but there's so much on the line with potential region championship and all that stuff. So the way the playoffs are kind of a little different this year, it makes every game important, especially the region games. So I think, after Friday night, Coach Kreisky and myself will find out a lot about our team.
Oakland being Oakland, the bullseye's been on your back for a long time. You guys handle that really well. That's what this is about, is being able to handle the bullseye being on your back.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get Blackman's best shot, and hopefully we can try to compete with those guys as well as we can. I think it's going to be a real cool environment. I think anybody that's a Oakland fan or a Blackman fan should be there. I think you should buy tickets early, not wait in line. I know that we've got these new weapons detection devices and all that stuff, so people need to get there early to get through. Buy the tickets online if you can, and ultimately pack the stadium. I think it's exactly what high school football is supposed to be about. Blackman's undefeated, we're undefeated. There should be a crowd on both sides, and I know y'all are doing the broadcast, but people need to bring their Walkman or whatever they do nowadays, listen to it on their phone online, but they can still listen to you guys, but they need to be at the game.
Walkman, you're telling your age there, Coach. Yeah, the Walkman. But so this has a chance to really be an old school football game, because that's one of the things that I've always loved about high school football, especially when I started covering back in the early 90s, is you had those big games. I mean, and that's what people did. They showed up, and that's what people need to do here is they need to show up.
Yeah, a lot of these games are streamed now, and people are just going to stay on the couch and all that stuff, watch it, online or whatever. But ultimately, this is exactly what Murfreesboro was made out of for the last 40 years. They need to see these type of games, and both teams undefeated. I have no idea why anybody would not put it on their calendar and make sure they show up. Both teams are really good. It's going to be a great environment, and why would you not come to one of the best games in the Mid-State next week?
No, I agree with you 100%, Coach. How about your senior leadership going into a game like this? How important is that?
Oh, yeah. It's one of those deals where we can only get as far as our seniors lead us, and I know there's good seniors over at Blackman. We got good seniors here at Oakland, and so ultimately it's probably going to come down to a player or two, and usually those player twos are made by those guys that have been in these kind of battles before, and usually they're made by seniors.
Coach, I agree with you 100%, and I think you're absolutely right. If you're out and about and you want to see some good football, you head over there to Blackman to see Oakland at Blackman. Showdown for first place in Game 6. So, Coach, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck.
All right, appreciate it.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at CraigsTaxService.com.
For 20.
Turn to Turner Security.
Hey, it's Brian, and we've relied on Turner Security for systems here at WGNS and Big GTV for many years. Their advanced security solutions with real-time monitoring and automation keep us safe. Plus, their expert IT service ensures our tech runs smoothly, from networks, computers to troubleshooting. Their team tailors solutions to our needs, and I highly recommend them for home or business solutions for you.
Turn to Turner Security.
Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's has a team of experienced auctioneers and realtors who make selling your property simple. Whether you're selling your home, farm, or have an estate to settle, auctions are easy, fast, and profitable. You don't have to worry about the hassle of updates, repairs, or showings, and you'll receive multiple offers on auction day.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's. on 1019 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. Danny Brewer back with you. Man, I'm finding some fresh fried chicken right now because I got Ben Caudill, the head football coach at Stewart's Creek, with me now. Coach, how are you?
Doing well, Danny. Good morning.
Yeah, it's a lovely morning. We got wonderful weather, wonderful time of year right now, you know. I mean, we got football in full swing and cool mornings and warm days. It's pretty good out there.
Yeah, you know, definitely a great night last night for high school football. We had some, you know, power issues, didn't get our lights on until maybe about 7:05, and then midway through the first quarter our chains broke, and so we had to pull out our backup chains and had a little delay there, you know, got to host you know, really talented, very disciplined, well-coached football team in Riverdale, and you know, definitely had some bright spots, but certainly a lot to improve as well.
Well, Coach, I know things didn't necessarily go the way you wanted it to. Riverdale, 35-7, was the victor. But when we talk about playing these games, I mean, back in the district with teams like Riverdale and Oakland, I know it's a challenge, but it's better, don't you think?
Yeah, to me, I mean, it's you know, I grew up, you know, playing high school ball, and we had to travel 3 hours for a region game, you know, to Memphis or Knoxville, and you know, I believe in playing against kids you grew up with and played Little League baseball with and those types of things. And, you know, we got a lot of the looks we wanted and thought we executed, you know, really well at times. But also at times I think we looked at as undisciplined as we have since I've arrived at Stewart's Creek in 2019, you know, receivers not on the line of scrimmage, you know, away from the ball on a run play. And, you know, then we have a snap issue, you know, then we, you know, 3rd and 11, you know, when the score is, you know, still, you know, nothing, you know, we jump off sides. And then they complete it on 3rd and 6 and have a scramble play, you know, and we had a batted pass last night. You know, when it was 7-0, and I've never seen a batted pass go higher. And, you know, they picked that. Thought our quarterback made the right decision to go where he did, and just kind of how it happened. And, you know, just those types of things really hurt us. I think we had more penalties last night than, you know, probably in my entire tenure at Stewart's Creek, which is disappointing. But you know, all those things to say, Danny, you know, you're going to struggle against any team when you have that type of execution and when you're really competing against yourself as much as you are, you know, a very talented team like Riverdale. And so, you know, but at the same time, I think you've got to give them a whole lot of credit. You know, I think their quarterback, if I'm telling you, Danny, if you give him time, he's not going to miss. He had 3 or 4 throws last night that I thought we were in as good a position as we could be on some dig routes and on some in-breaking routes and on a wheel on their sideline where he just, you know, it's hard to defend a perfect pass. And he put several there right where they needed to be. You know, I think they've got several players on defense. You know, their junior safety, number 17, Fuquay, their Mike linebacker, Emmons, and their field outside linebacker, number 9, who's I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name correctly, but those are 3 tremendous football players. Coach Eddie Wood's son at D-line, you know, they're a really well put together team in all 3 phases. And unfortunately, we kind of battled ourselves a whole lot more than we needed to.
The mental mistakes, that's one of those things that can drive a coach crazy, you know, but it's things that you work on, and those are correctable. And that's good news, right?
Yeah, you know, they are. And, you know, just having our hands inside on a play where we gained 15 yards on our sideline and not holding. And, you know, we jumped off sides on a 4th and short. You know, we had a receiver jump off sides when, you know, we'd just taken a timeout and explained what we were going to do. You know, and they're trying to get it to half, you know, and you know, that running back's very talented, but, you know, he broke one for 89 right before half when you know, to me, we're not getting off blocks the way we need to on the edge, and you know, not taking the right angles, you know, but you know, at the same time, you know, we challenged our guys to come out and compete in the second half, and I think we had 3 turnovers in the second half. We had a pick on a screen. Michael Colquitt made a very athletic play, you know, against their starting offense. Then we had 2 scoops, both that went for 6, but one got called back. You know, so I'm proud of how we played in the second half, and you know, kind of just moved on from a first half that was very disappointing. But you know, whenever you allow a team like Riverdale to, you know, basically, you know, you give them 14 points, you know, and it's just going to be hard to compete against anybody, especially against a team like Riverdale.
No doubt about that, because they do bring a little something to the table. There's no doubt about that. Let's talk a little bit about depth. I think you've had a few injury problems. Developing depth, one of the keys for any football program, but talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's huge, you know, and unfortunately 2 of the 3 times I've coached against Will, you know, we've had to go, you know, without, you know, our starting quarterback. And you know, obviously whenever you have a senior, you know, that's what you love to have, is a senior quarterback. And Jerry, and I'm telling you, Jerry has impacted our team in such a big way, you know, these past few weeks, and I'm very proud of how he's handled, you know, his situation. And RC's doing a great job. He's has the respect of our team. You know, he was a starting receiver, you know, before we, you know, before he had to become our quarterback, and you know, he's doing a great job, and I'm really proud of him. And that's not something that, you know, we're ever going to use as an excuse, you know, or as a crutch as to why we, you know, can't, you know, execute on offense. I thought he made several great throws, great decisions last night, and you know, we've got to help him more. We had multiple times where receivers ran the wrong route, and I've already mentioned some of the other issues we've had, and those are things that you know, we've got to continue to fix, and we've got to take ownership of, and that's certainly my job, not just on offense but in all 3 phases. And you know, we've had some other guys emerge to carry the ball. Kingston McQueen's come on offense, and the last few weeks he's had to take on a more advanced role on that side. And you know, so that's huge, not just you know, in this county, but anywhere. You got to be able to have guys that, you know, over the course of 4 quarters, especially when guys are playing both sides like we do, you know, you got to be able to spread the ball around to multiple guys.
So when we talk about building things down at the creek, you know, last year, fantastic year. Obviously, that means little this year. I mean, the success, winning breeds winning. We know all that kind of stuff. But talk about what you're trying to do there as far as building at the creek, and the positive steps that you feel like you've taken this year based on what happened last year.
Yeah, I think, you know, number one is you're always building your culture, you know, and, you know, this team is, you know, the last 2 weeks, Danny, I feel like we've practiced as well as we have all summer, spring, you know, and certainly better than the first 3 weeks of the season. And I think we're starting to just understand the importance of winning Monday through Thursday, and having the attitude of being coachable, you know, and just there's so many different faces. You know, although we bring back a few guys, you know, we're starting 5 sophomores. And, you know, there have been times where we, you know, have maybe started 1 sophomore. And so, you know, hey, you know, what's great about this county is that, you know, there's no caveat or asterisk next to those guys' names. You know, our fans, our community, you know, they expect you to have them ready to go. And, you know, that's my job, and that's our job as coaches, is to get these guys ready, and they're doing a great job and being super coachable. You know, we've got to clean some things up in our operation. At times, Danny, you know, we're our own worst enemy. We're not competing against the other jersey. You know, we're battling ourselves too much. And but there's a whole lot of bright spots, you know, that we can pull from. And the biggest thing is that our team is in our locker room and our staff room have never been better from a leadership and culture standpoint. And you know, we've got to keep improving. You know, the first 5 games are behind us, and you know, we got a whole lot of football left to be played. Last night was last night.
Next week is next week. You play at Laverne, huge region game. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, you know, going to Laverne, you know, several great battles with them over the years. Obviously, they're much different football team than they've been in the past this year with a new head coach, Coach Johnson. I've only had a few conversations with him, but have really enjoyed getting to know him. I know a whole lot of people that have known him for a while that speak incredibly highly of him. And, I know their offensive coordinator as well, have for years. And, they have a very athletic quarterback, very aggressive on defense. Going on the road. It's our second road game. We've already had 4 home games, Danny. And so, we're going to have to, go over there and have a great plan and execute. And I know our guys are excited. We kind of told them at halftime, listen, this is, how we really going to attack, the weekend and these next 2 quarters and next week. We kind of, just kind of put the first half to rest. And so, I'm very optimistic, and not just, being in the locker room after the game, I believe we had a really good look in our eye and good focus. And this is, as a leader, Danny, this, not just as a coach, but for those in our locker room, these are opportunities to lead. These are opportunities to, show your maturity, to have resolve, and to be a part of the solution, and to take ownership of all the things that we need to, and not, say, well, if this guy could do it. No, hey, we've all got to own the things we need to. And, certainly a huge challenge with Laverne, but I also believe, the challenge within is something, that we're also continually focusing on.
The challenge within and be part of the solution. Love it, Coach. Love it. If you want to see some good football, it ought to be Hot Times at Laverne when the Creek goes to Laverne next Friday night. Coach Caudell, appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Danny.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Game day is coming, and are you ready to represent the Blue Raiders? At Raider Tees, we've got the largest selection of officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear in town. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, even tailgating essentials. You name it, we've got it. No more searching through random stores. Everything you need is right here at 111 East MTCS Road, right across from MTCS. Get game day ready at Raider Tees. Bigger, better, and go blue.
Pizza. You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carryout or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're here at Rick's Barbecue catching up with Anne-Marie Brents, who tells us not only do they have barbecue, smoked chicken, loaded baked potatoes, but the slaw dogs are out of this world.
I do love the slaw dogs. People are like, is that a big sausage? I'm like, no, it's a deep fried hot dog. And the slaw that we put on them is a spicy mustard slaw. It's actually really good. I like to dip it in white sauce.
Rick's Barbecue has awesome deals to feed the entire family.
We have family packs, and it can feed 4 to 6 people. We have a picnic pack, which is the family pack doubled.
Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
Your home, your auto. Together, they're where life happens. I'm State Farm Agent Ron Reeves. It's smart to protect them together to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-873-1700 and let me help you by combining your home and auto.
It's not just your home or car. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams. We see your home and car as the time and memories that you put into it. Give me a call at 615-459-2683 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com and Big G TV.
Danny Brewer back with you. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Ideas Tees, who will be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. Find out more at ideastees.com. Danny Brewer once again back with you. I am extremely pleased now to be joined by Rockvale head football coach James Counts. Coach Counts, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm quite well. You know, I want to start things off by saying, man, I'm extremely pleased to be with you this morning. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you personally, so I want to kind of go over some just like basic stuff so you can educate old hillbilly like me. Tell me a little bit about James Counts. Henry County, is that where you're from?
Yes, sir. I went to high school there. My dad was a long-time coach there, and then, of course, I played at MTSU, but when I graduated, I got into coaching with my dad. At that time, we were at Dyersburg, went to MBA for a little bit, and then ended back at Henry County in 2010. So, yeah, that's pretty much home, where I grew up, but you know, it's a good place.
So tell me a little bit about MTSU. When did you play at MTSU?
90 through 94.
90 through 94. You might know my boy O.J. Smith. You know O.J. Smith?
I do know O.J. Smith.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah. So me and my man O.J. we were because I was at the game last night, and we're over there, and Coach Lyons too, Perry Lyons. Me and Coach Lyons, good buddies. We were standing over there, and they said, and they mentioned MTSU, and I thought, dang, I ought to. Of course, I didn't play at MTSU. I'm a little bit older than y'all boys, but still, they said, yeah, when Coach Lyons was talking about you to OJ, he said, yeah, man, he played in Middle. Oh, and OJ was like, yeah, I remember. So you must have made an impression on some folks at Middle Tennessee State. I
don't know about that, but I did play with OJ, and I'm thinking back, right? Didn't he play at Smyrna?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I joke with OJ that he's the second best quarterback Smyrna's ever had. He might be the first best because OJ was pretty dang good in his day. I'm telling you what, just more moves than X-Lax. I'm telling you, the kid, he could flat do it on the football field.
Yes, sir. He was a good player. Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit about last night's game. Showed up big in the first quarter. Last 3 minutes of the first half weren't necessarily the way you want them to roll.
Yeah, you know, offensively, you know, we, defense started us out great. I think they had three and outs or four. Offensively, you know, we moved the ball a little bit there and just couldn't finish the drives and ended up trying to kick field goals and obviously made one of those and missed two more. Had two blocked, and then right there before half, we had that one blocked, and they picked it up and scored on that, right before half. And we just got to learn to offensively. We got to finish. We got to finish drives and do a better job with that. But our defense played really good in the first half, and credit to Smyrna. They did a great job. Kids are ready to play, and I think that's the thing about this league is you can't take a dip and not have a good game. You've got to play consistent, and you've got to be ready to play every week, and no matter how you feel, you may not feel your best, but we still got to go and perform, and because everybody, competition is really good, and I think that's something that we're trying to learn as a team, and but credit to Smyrna and Coach Williams and those guys, and they played extremely hard and got after us last night. Played a little harder than we did.
You know, one of the things that I was impressed with from you guys, you touched on the passing game. I think you guys threw the ball really well at times last night and gave yourself opportunities. Just like you get the ball with 30 seconds left, roughly in the first half, down 14-3, and you get in field goal range. You get there to a chance to put points on the board. Unfortunately, that was where the block kick happened. I think that was a huge momentum change because it could have been 14-6 instead of 21-3.
Yeah, and then they got the ball coming back out in the third quarter. So that was a big momentum swing for them. And but now we're throwing the football. we're getting better. I think we're getting more in sync. Guys are learning each other. And we're getting better. Knowing what each other's thinking and that kind of stuff. So like I told them guys last night, it's not where we start. This is a season, not a game. And as we work through the year, going through these situations, if we learn from this, which we need to, it's going to put us in a better situation later on, and that's when you want to be your best anyway. So, all these learning situations, getting better throwing the football, and guys getting more comfortable, and with each other. And I know late, I know we threw some interceptions late just because we were, our game plan had changed because of the score, and we were doing things there to, trying to score pretty quick, and they got some picks there, but our kids kept playing, and that's all I can ask. I told them after the game, that I was sorry, and that I've got to do a better job as a coach, and I promised them that myself and my coaching staff, we were going to come to work Monday and coach as hard as we can coach. That's all we can do.
Absolutely right on that. When you talk about the physicalness of the game and your physical presence, you got good size in the trenches. When you look at the sideline over there, before the game started and stuff, and I'm looking, man, you guys got some big kids over there. You got some nice size up front. Talk a little bit about the boys in the trenches.
We do, and the thing about those kids are, we're a young football team, and we've got 43 sophomores, and 3 of the offensive linemen that I've got are sophomore, and 2 juniors up there. Logan Duncan is the only senior, and sophomore tight end. So there's a lot of things that those guys are experiencing for the first time. Because this is the first time they've really been put into this kind of speed of the game and those kind of things, and it's a learning curve for sure. But up front defensively, it was physical. They're good size and big and physical up front, just like we feel like we are. And Melvin Boone and Dallas Paldo and those guys up front there are getting after each other, and it was a physical football game. But yeah, we're young up front on the offensive side, and it's a process. It's going to take a little time for those guys to experience these situations and how fast the game is, and because none of them got a whole lot of reps last year. We did play Jerome Parker some. He played offensive line. He plays both ways for us. And he did a great job last night getting in the game, and so we're getting some of the pieces where we need to, and getting better with experience in the situations and things that you do as you grow through being a high school offensive lineman and the things that people can do. It takes a little time.
Absolutely. Coach James Counts with Rockville here. Let's talk a little bit about you said, hey, there's no easy games in this league, and there are not. So kind of out of the frying pan into the fire this week, you host Siegel. Huge matchup with Siegel this week.
they play everybody. It seems like how the schedule goes. They play everybody the week before we do. So, we've kind of watched Siegel a little bit there because we've had film on them and the opponent that we were playing. But, Coach Renshaw and them done a great job, and they beat Smyrna, in a low scoring game, 13-10, and the week before last, and they're it's a big game, now that things have failed the way they have, but no, they're a good football team, and got some things we got to get ready for, and they seem to find a way, we got to understand that and be ready to match their intensity and get ready to play and take care of the things that we can take care of.
Well, Coach, I certainly appreciate your time. I can say this just from our brief experience here. One thing you can count on is James Counts at Rockville doing the right thing. Coach, you got them headed in the right direction. We appreciate your time. We certainly wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete. Big Dalton, it's a wrap.
At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, we believe in making a difference in everything we do. From helping local businesses grow to guiding families towards financial stability, we are improving lives one customer at a time. Hi, I'm John Allen, Vice President and Commercial Banker.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. Online at fnbmt.com.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance are the leading experts in sports medicine and performance, and the team physicians for NFL, college, and high school athletes across Tennessee. TOA offers same-day appointments, walk-ins, and urgent care for acute orthopedic injuries that can't wait. TOA is proud to support Rutherford County high school athletes. Having a specialized care team you trust can make all the difference in your athletic journey. To find a TOA location near you, visit TOA.com.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
I'm attorney John Day. My wife Joy and I love dogs and have one of our own. But we've also helped people who have been injured by dog bites and dog attacks, as well as bicyclists who crashed after a dog attack. You need to know that the dog owner may have insurance to help pay medical bills and other expenses because of a dog attack. If your loved one has been injured by a dog, call the law offices of John Day for a free consultation.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
And welcome back to the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. And we have Siegel Defensive Coordinator Eric Smith with us this morning. I'm John Dinkins back with you. And a tough game last night. You were expecting a tough game, I think.
Yes, sir.
And I think a lot of people were going, I think they were expecting maybe worse, and you guys kind of stood the tide a little bit. Couldn't get anything going offensively, but the defense held up pretty well.
Oakland's a big week for us every year, and it's definitely one that we circle on the calendar, look forward to, and, as a coach, these are the kind of teams that you come to Murfreesboro, want to play, want to have a chance to win. My parents live out of West Tennessee, and every year they come to the Oakland game. I want them here, and, we come into the game Friday, felt like we have a really good chance, really good shot, and, we had a couple chances, and like any ball game, got to eliminate the big plays, got to eliminate turnovers, got to eliminate, the free plays that you give other teams and give yourself a chance at the end. At times, I thought we did a really good job of that. Other times, give up a long play on a screen in the first series. A couple plays like that, give up another screen later in the game. So, we just got to eliminate those kind of things. And, Oakland's a great challenge for us. And a lot of our kids came off, and they were frustrated and angry. And a lot of them, as they're coming off, so, well, you want to try and play them again? Let's get if we can get to the playoffs, make a little run right here and get another shot. And every one of them kind of like, hey, let's go play them again. We feel like we can eliminate some things. So, yeah, I mean, Oakland's always a tough challenge, and it's an exciting game to be a part of, and an exciting game to give yourself a shot if we can get there. And but our kids expect to go in those games, compete to win, and it's an exciting group of kids that kind of have that mindset.
Yeah, and they did compete. With Oakland, when you're playing Oakland, those top defenses too. You can't have turnovers. You can't have, and not even necessarily turnover, but you need to execute well. I mean, you can't have a busted play and that kind of thing. And you take those away, you're in the game. 2-0 coming into that game in the district, and you're the defensive coordinator. I know that you've been proud of them because I think you won 13-10 and. Another game, 14-13 or something close. So those close games matter, and that teaches them a lot too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, definitely builds faith in each other. And in a couple of those games, like Cookville, for instance, we go into Cookville and have a really good game defensively. Get a lot of stops. It's a tight game. It's I think 15-8 game toward the end, and we feel really good about where we're at. And give up a score at the end, get 15-15. And offense responds, marches right down the field, and in 2-minute drill, scores, puts us ahead. We win that game. Same way with Stewart's Creek. Feel like we did a lot of really good stuff defensively. Feel like we kept ourselves in the game. And then when it came down to the end and we had to have a play, I mean, offense drives it right down the field. We get a catch a punt around the 50-yard line. Get a stop, catch a punt around the 50, which catching the punt was a big deal. Saved us an extra need of first down, but drive right down the field. Kick a game-winning field goal to win. So, offensively, even last night, I thought we did a really good job of staying on the field. It's hard to get points, but, we got first downs. We grinded out some first downs. Got a penalty on roughing a punter, which gave us, a little more downs and just kind of looking for that opportunistic play to get us over the top and go get some points. But, those guys up front on both sides of the football, I feel like we're really coming into our own in a lot of ways. I thought that even last night, and I don't know what the stats are for our running game and whatnot, but I felt like those guys are really challenging other teams, even a team like Oakland, getting yards, getting first downs, keeping us down the field, and give us a chance.
Well, I had Albee had 22 carries for 73 yards, and getting 73 yards against Oakland.
Those are tough yards.
Yeah, those are tough yards. You know they are. But defensively, Demario Heron had 8 tackles, including 1 for a loss. That's got to be pleasing too. I mean, they didn't quit.
Absolutely. And Demario, you talk about Demario, he's a great kid, great guy to be around. Great. He works full time as a barber over on Memorial.
Really?
At the Star Barbershop over on Memorial. Plays hard for us. Had a knee injury last year. Has really worked hard to put himself back in position and become a good player. And and he's had to work hard. That's a tough injury to come back from. And like you said, like he battled last night, 8 tackles, 1 for a loss. Had a chance for some others, and like really strong kid, block destruction kid, selfless kid, like just a fun kid to coach.
Let me ask you a little bit. We're talking to Eric Smith, the defensive coordinator for the Siegel Stars. And I've asked Coach Renshaw this, and I think he's a little shy. But you can tell us a little bit more. Those kids have bought in with him and your coaching staff in a way that is really beautiful to see. I mean, they believe in everything that you guys do. I know he does a lot of walking the halls, and you guys, go to events and that kind of thing. Isn't that the key? I mean, isn't that a big key to y'all starting to get more success each and every year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The teachers talk a lot about Adam that way as well, about how much they like seeing him in the hallways and seeing not just football kids, but other kids, and being a presence. And I think our coaching staff as a whole really takes that personal, that we want to be, coaches in the school, teachers in the school, and members of the community in the school. But the kids, the proof's in the pudding. You get in there and, you start. Our first year coming in here, we came in the same year, and it was a very small team coming back, like somewhere around 30 people, 30 total kids coming back from the year before. And, Coach Warren does a great job with our freshman team, getting numbers up and getting guys in the field and giving them roles. And we've had between 40 and 60 freshmen every year come through, which those guys go into the varsity program. And, we're having 80 to 90 kids at the beginning of every year in the varsity program. And, the proof's in the pudding. I mean, you care about them, you push them, you work them hard, you challenge them, you recognize accomplishments. Everybody enjoys that. But they really do. You tell these kids to do things, and you coach them on it, and you can see it improving in them, which is exciting.
It's an amazing thing to watch. And I know when he took over the program, it had some heartache and some other things. And you've got a good AD, good support with Coach White. That's important too. I mean, to have that backing by them, and would do anything you need to do. Got a turf field. Some of those things. That's not easy, getting all those things together.
It's a great community.
Yeah.
Great community from top down, from community members that in, like Charlie Davison, the administrators, Mr. Creasy and Coach White. They're never more than a phone call away, and on the sidelines, they're just a couple yards away. But we really do. We have a lot of people in that Siegel community that care about our football program. They care about the school as a whole, and it's exciting when you look out there and the basketball coaches are there and the baseball coaches are there, and they're upstairs in the box commentating the games. And, you go down and the other sport coaches are asking about the games on Monday, and, it's a really cool community.
Coach Wine has been through the wars as well, and success at Riverdale, success at Siegel. I'm sure that's a big benefit to have, because he knows the game, and he knows what may be going through everybody, or, through a hard time or the good times.
Right.
I think he understands all that.
Absolutely. He's somebody that is good to have in the building to lean on, and your frustrated things. We can always go talk to Coach Wyatt. His door's always open, and like you said, he's been through it.
He's an old coach,
and absolutely.
Notice the emphasis on old, but go ahead.
And he knows people around. It's a blessing. We've had Rick Collins came coach with us for a year.
Yes.
He was another guy that kind of been around the county a bit, has some success. Rick Mallory has come in. He's the same thing. He's coming from MTSU, coach our special teams, doing a great job with that. And you got to think those connections with Coach Wine, Mr. Creasy, and some of our other staff have a lot to do with those people when they add in to the program.
Well, we look ahead, and we've got you taking on Siegel next week. Rockville next week. They suffered a tough loss last night. However, they're scary. I mean, they've got some talent on that team. Tell us a little bit about what you know about them.
Well, I think that in a lot of ways they're really similar to us. They're going to run the football. They're going to ground out the tough yards. They can get first downs. They're going to be opportunistic. They got guys on the edge that can hurt you. They got a couple of good receivers that can beat you over the top. Defensively, I mean, they're tough defensively. They're aggressive defensively. They run a really complicated scheme that's kind of hard to get past. We have history of a lot of their coaches. A lot of Siegel coaches. They're at Rockville now, and Coach Counts, we've known him for a long time, from West Tennessee to Paris to Dyersburg, and those really good guys, really good coaches, and it's an exciting game to be a part of. Like almost everyone in this county, they're fun games.
Well, they're never any easy ones either, really. I mean, you might get an easy one just by turnovers or something, but they're all tough, aren't they? I mean, each and every week.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot with our kids, that nothing's free, and you got to earn it all. You got to earn every blade of grass, every punt, every turnover. There's nothing you've done that's going to give you something this week.
It really makes it hard, too, because if you have a big win, you can't go on that one for very long. I guess, what do y'all start on Monday or Sunday?
Yeah.
Saying, got to look ahead, got to keep going.
Yeah, let's turn the page on this one, go on to the next one. And like you said, it gets you nothing. You have a big win, it gets you nothing. But at the same time, we didn't perform like we wanted to last Friday, and that doesn't cost us anything this Friday. We got to turn the page and move ahead, and this is a massive game for us. Our kids know the kids from Rockville, and like I said, there's a lot of coaching history between the two, and so we're really excited about the challenge this week.
I made a comment at the game last night that we were at. We were at Rockville. We were at Smyrna with the Rockville game, and I said, Siegel reminds me of kind of the lunch pail kind of construction worker, goes to work every day, works hard, and reaps the benefits of hard work. Is that a fair assessment of your guys? Because you've got some talent, but I didn't mean it like you didn't have any talent, but it's just the way you go about things, and we're trying to keep away from turnovers and doing the fundamentals right and all that kind of thing.
I hope so. I mean, I really hope that's what we look like, and I hope that's the impression we give people. And we try to be really intentional about the way we practice, the way we address things. And, one of our biggest slogans, especially defensively, is, guys, you can control what you can control. Let's control that. You can control how you line up. You can control your leverage. You can control your eyes. You can control your read steps. You can't control the way the game ends up. You could go out and shut teams out and lose by 2-0 to the safety, or you could put 50 points on the board and lose 50-52. But you can control what you can control, and we work really hard on talking to our guys about just that. Just a very workman mentality and a selfless mentality.
Well, whatever you're doing well. I mean, it's been very successful, and good luck against Rockville. Like you said, that is a huge game for both of y'all.
Absolutely,
both teams. All right, Eric, appreciate it. That's Eric Smith, the defensive coordinator here at Siegel, and we appreciate him substituting for Coach Renshaw today. He's a tough act to follow, but you did great. This portion of the show is brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Online at mte.com. Up next on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, it's Eagleville coach Floyd Walker as we continue.
Are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSsports.com, and Big G TV.
And welcome back to the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. This portion of the show brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. And I don't know if my next guest has used them or not, but I know you've got probably some acquaintances up at TOA from Floyd Walker's our guest here.
Well, you know, back in my day, there was no TOA.
No.
It was just you go to Tom John's office. That's what it used to be, the place to be for all your orthopedic.
Did he do everything? I mean, back then, because there's such a big conglomerate now.
Right.
But back in the day, it really just was Dr. John's.
Well, and as far as Murfreesboro and Rutherford County athletics went, he was the only guy. You know, and that was what, early to mid 80s. So, but yeah,
thank God for him.
Stitch his stall up a little bit.
I'm so glad he did show up, because I don't know what medicine would be like now, sports medicine here in Murfreesboro. But you're going back a few years, aren't you? On that one.
Don't tell anybody, man.
Floyd Walker's our guest here, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles, and big win last night. It's always good to win homecoming,
it is.
But rather decisively as well.
It is. I thought our kids really did a good job of just trying to keep the main thing. You know, it being homecoming week and not getting overly involved in it, but still participated in a lot of the activities and being able to enjoy those. But when the game kicked off, I thought they had the right mindset as far as paying attention to detail and trying to just do the basic, simple things that we ask them to do day in and day out.
And I know homecoming does have some distractions, but boy, I guess you get a little sigh of relief when you know they handle it well and they come out and play tough early, you know, and not scare you to death, I guess.
I mean, and that's the thing about it. I know coach speak and coaches sometimes take it to the extreme as far as thinking whether or not a kid is prepared to play, but you have to give these young men a lot of credit. They are able to balance a lot more than we think they can. They're able to handle a lot more than we think they can. And when the lights come on, a lot of times they're more ready and more prepared than the coaches are.
You know, Floyd, when you get off to a good start, and you had some people that really you were able to run the ball quite a bit last night. Was that something you felt like that you'd be able to do last night, or is that just it kind of happened?
Well, I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to run the football because football hadn't changed over the years. I mean, you talk about people going to hurry up and spread and no huddle and all those things, but at the end of the day, if you can run the football and you can stop the run, you got an opportunity to win, and that's going to be our MO for as long as I'm there, and I think that's a lot of people's MO.
Well, you're sitting in a good spot. We'll talk about that in just a minute, but highlight a couple of players here. Marshall Fields had 3 carries for 22 yards and a touchdown, added 2 receptions for 55 yards and a TD in the 34-6 win. So that's a little added bonus there too, catch and run.
Yeah, it's a little bit added bonus when he can give us some yards rushing. It takes some heat off of Jonathan Jordan and it takes some off of Thomas Solomon. So when we can get him in there and get him a couple of snaps with the ball in his hand, it kind of helps our offense out a little bit more. And when you can throw it to him and you get people spread out and he's able to catch it and execute that, it just gives you a little bit more options and makes you a little bit more difficult to defend.
Boy, Jonathan Jordan, what a night. I mean, 10 tackles on a sack and then ran for 130 yards. That's the whole package, isn't it?
And he is loving every minute of it. I mean, you're talking about a kid who really hadn't been able to play a lot the last 3 years. But now he's playing pretty much every snap on every offense, defense, and specialty team, and it's just absolutely a joy to watch perform on Friday nights.
You know, I always say Eagleville's a small school, but if you go out there, you realize it's not really that small. But kids get a chance, and if they hang with it, and I know you don't have a lot of people that just kids that leave the program.
Right.
They'll stick with it to middle school and get and even into high school, and that's a case of it paying off for somebody and patience, having patience.
It is, but I mean that's the whole thing. If you'll just have patience and just buy your time, all right? Because people develop at different stages. People I mean, whether it's a skill set or whether it's maturity, people develop at different levels, and if you'll just wait your time and you continue to show up, put the work in, it's gonna pay off. But it's just just when is that going to happen? I don't know. But what you don't want to do is put somebody in there that's not ready and that's physically can't protect themselves.
Last week I didn't interview you, but I was kind of following that game pretty closely, and you really staged a comeback that just didn't quite get there. But I know you felt, I could sense, you felt pretty good even though you lost that game. It felt good about not giving up and playing hard, and then I think it kind of showed up tonight because Cornersville is usually can give, as you've had some close games with Cornersville in the past.
Cornersville, what they do defensively and what they do offensively creates some challenges. They run the wing tee and they give you a lot of misdirections with a lot of moving parts to it, and what you have to do is you have to be able to be relaxed and read your keys and play with your eyes and your feet. And I thought, like I said before, I thought our kids had done that. But this team and this group of kids, especially the senior group, they're a joy to be around. They really enjoy one another. They have a blast playing together. They have a blast in the locker room. A lot of them hang out together once they leave. And that's what you want in a team.
The togetherness part, I think, is what's so fascinating to me, because it's a rural area, right. But there's a little bit of, there's the Mexican restaurant and those kind of places. They can kind of hang out a little bit, but they actually kind of go home with each other, don't they? I mean,
they do. They'll go over to each other's houses. They'll be on the weekends, or they'll go to Waffle House or place Taco Bell. They're always going to gather somewhere. But again, it's one of those situations to where I think the neat part about our place is that whether you play every snap or you play one snap or you don't get to play any at all, you get treated the same way.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're part of it, because I think all the players do a tremendous job of treating everybody with that respect.
Preparing for the wing tee, what did you tell them last night? I mean, before the game? I mean, I know you worked on it at practice.
You really want me
to see it, to see that. I know you're not going to, so I thought I'd ask you. But, I know that was a different look for them, but they responded really well.
I mean, the big thing was, trust your coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Trust your coaching. You get lined up first. That's the number one thing. Get lined up and communicate. If everybody communicates and everybody talks, you'll get lined up and you'll be prepared to make the plays that you need to make. And I thought our kids did a super job, because sometimes you got to check, you got to roll a secondary, or Grant Cooper's got to make a check. He had a bunch of checks this week, and I thought he handled that beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we may have missed a line one time, but there was no misalignments on defense, and that prevented any type of self-inflicted wound. So I was pleased with that.
Floyd Walker's our guest here on the Prentice Allsup Hitting Air Coach's Corner. Floyd, I know we've mentioned this, and I mentioned this every single time, I think, but the coaching staff that you've assembled and have been together, all of you have been together for years. To me, that is, and kids see that and their stability, and they know when you say trust their coaches, I think they buy in because they know that you guys have been successful together.
And we're all on the same page because, like you said, we've been doing it so long. We know how we want to do it. We know what we need to do. We know, and again, defensively or offensively, number one thing is get lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Get lined up, okay?
Yeah.
And they give you a lot of weird different formations. They may be 2 over here, 3 to one side, and maybe 4 to one side, and you got to get lined up to it, because if you don't on the defensive side, and I believe our kids like running the football.
I guess we're going on the road here next week. And you're 1-0 in district play, region play. I know you guys have always been like that. I mean, you don't mind playing anybody. You don't buckle down to anybody. And but it always seems that you all seem to gel as the season goes on, and you get stronger as the season goes, barring any injuries. You get stronger rather than go the other way.
I think that's a tribute to our kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a tribute to the upperclassmen teaching the underclassmen, and taking the underclassmen under their wings. I mean, I heard one of the parents tell me that a lot of the senior O-linemen had one of the freshman O-linemen over and just hanging out playing video games with them.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
you know, it's one of those deals. So when those young people see how it should be, it's a lot easier to keep that consistency.
Big crowd last night.
Yeah, it was.
I wish I could have been there, but I don't know if I could have gotten in. It's so crowded. I
would have got you in.
It is a big crowd. You're going to hold me a place when I'm going to be able to get there, right?
We'll roll out the red carpet for you.
No, you don't have to do that.
Fire up the trumpets, all right?
I just soon go incognito, to be honest with you. All right, let's talk about, you're not going to, but let's talk about Richland a little bit. Know anything about them? And that's just a trip. It's a road trip.
I know Coach Patterson. Coach Patterson and I go back a long ways, and Coach Patterson once upon a time coached at Eagleville. Coach Patterson, they're going. My understanding is they want to spread you out. They're supposed to have a really good young quarterback, either freshman or sophomore, so they want to throw the football some. Defensively, they're going to give you what we call an even front. He's going to be sound. They're going to get lined up. I know they've always been physical, and we're going to have to be able to match their physicality again.
The fact it's a road trip is always kind of puts a little extra burden, but I guess you all have been together so long, and they know, and even the kids know the routine. It's not really that big of a problem, is it, anymore?
It's not. Again, it's one of those deals where us coaches may make a bigger deal about getting and going on the road, but the kids are the kids. They're going to have pregame meal. They're going to get their bags packed. They're going to load up. They're going to climb on the bus. Some of them have on their AirPods, and some of them go to sleep. And that's just what they do. And when the lights come on, they should be ready to play. And that's the approach we're going to take, and that's the approach we've always taken.
Well, big win last night. I don't know how you do it, but keep doing it. You know, I mean, it's just, you're always in it. You're always in the hunt, and that's what it's all about. And the kids enjoy being there, don't they?
You know, we just try to enjoy the kids because it flies by.
Yeah,
it tries to fly by, and we want them to have a memorable and enjoyable experience in our program, and we love it when some of them come back after they've been gone for several.
Do they come back for homecoming?
A couple of them came back from homecoming last night. I was able to see some of them, but you know, and we still try to stay in touch the best way we can, and we're gonna end up eventually trying to get some of those alumni back on campus and just try to pour into these young men and give an opportunity to talk about how Eagleville football has evolved over the years.
All right, you're traveling to Richland, and you can go. People can follow you to Richland, can't they? You'll have a good little entourage going with you.
We will, and it'll be a good game for them too as well. But before I go, can we? I just want to say we wish speedy recovery to Nancy Warden, one of our English teachers. She was in a severe automobile crash. I think Wednesday. She's in Vanderbilt right now, and she's already had several surgeries, and she's got to have a couple more. But our thoughts and prayers are with Nancy and her family. So I just want to make sure we can shout out.
Yeah, prayers are with her. That's just a hope for a speedy recovery.
Yes,
that's tough. All right, Floyd. Good talking to you, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks after you've reeled off a couple more wins. How's that?
I hope that's the case.
Floyd Walker, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles. This portion of the show has been brought to you by Dr. Automotive. You ever been to Dr. Automotive?
No, I haven't.
No.
I know the owner, though, but maybe that's why.
The cure for your car. Professional auto repair and maintenance from ASC certified mechanics and master mechanics. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com. When we come back, we'll be talking to Christian Peterson, the head coach, on Cougar Corner.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Are you tired of feeling like just another number with your insurance provider? At Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, Agent Rick Hall prides himself on offering personalized service that puts you first. Every client's needs are unique. From personal home and auto coverage to tailored business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, where you're more than just a policy number. You're a neighbor.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
It's time to talk about Middle Tennessee Christian School sports. It's MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Each week we sit down with the coaches to recap the latest games and preview what's ahead. It's time to talk about the orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner, right here on WGNS and Big G TV. Stay tuned, the show is coming up right after this message from our sponsors.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
Man, I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
We're back for MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance and fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, wgnssports.com, and Big G TV.
And we welcome you to Cougar Corner. I'm John Dinkins, the host of this week's Cougar Corner. Christian Peterson joins us back here with the head coach of the Cougars, and what a football game! That's all I'm going to say. What a football game! It was unbelievable.
It was a lot of fun. Fans are great. Really proud of our kids. You know, there was I think that was the game that really showed the growth. Right, like we've had those moments. You know, we fought through it for the last year and a half of kind of being young and kind of building that confidence and. I think last night was kind of the culmination of the kids believing in each other and playing together. It would have been really easy with how that third quarter started to have the wheels just completely fall off and leave there disappointed. But, I thought, we regrouped, we took a deep breath, we went out, we played the next play, and, we're just so proud of our kids for how we finished that game.
Yeah. You were kind of anticipating that this might be a tough game. It's you'd seen you knew what they had, and you made a good point before we got in here of adversity. You have some success, then you have adversity, then you come back with success, and that's what you mean by it's a good win. Not only because you you had some moments there that you weren't happy with, but they came back and got through it and won the game and learned some things.
For sure. I mean, you get games where, everything goes right and, it's great. You win the game, all that stuff. And, but really when you find out how good you can be is one of those games where, like last night, I felt really good going into halftime. We're up 28-14. Offensively, we moved the ball well. Defensively, had done a great job stopping them. We had really had a lot of things going our way. Everything was really positive. It's easy to stay together when everything's positive. We come out in the second half, and we just the snap exchange just like looked like we hadn't done it ever. And so we don't get going on that first drive, give up a touchdown, and then I mean, credit to them, their kickoff, it hits just inside the sideline, and our kids are letting it go out of bounds, and it just died. It died right inside there, and then, so you go in at halftime up 2 scores, you blink, and now it's 28-21. They score in one play. It's 28-28. Offense still just not going yet. They end up going up 35-28. And I think there's a lot of points over the last year and a half where that would have been it. I think that would have been the wheels falling off, the youth kind of rears its head, and everybody freaks out. I thought we did a much better job of handling that. Came back out, got tied it up on the next drive, and then from there, I mean, their offense, they got a lot of good players. Like they're big up front. Their quarterbacks is going to be a dude. I mean, he played really well last night. We get a stop on defense on 4th down in our inside of the field. Offense answers with a touchdown again to go up 42-35 with like 5 minutes to go, and again, like you're about to get their best shot, and I just kept telling defense on that drive, I just need your best. Just your best. You don't need to go be Superman. Just give me your best. Ends up being like 4th and goal, 5 seconds left. It's one of those games where I don't know that it was super loud in the stadium because their fans are standing, our fans are standing, but everybody just kind of has that nervous energy of watching to see what happens. We make the play and come out with a win. And I think it was good for our kids to kind of, again, see that to where, like, things can go wrong. Like, it's okay. Like, things are going to happen. Regroup. Let's get to the next one. Like, we're still a talented football team. We can go beat people even if things aren't perfect. And, I think this can be a real launching point for us, is to kind of taking that next step.
When you have a game like that, you have to have some really talented performances. I mean, some really good performances. Bangura, 26 carries for 183 yards, 3 touchdowns. Eric Bowling had 12 tackles. Cooper Jones had 13 tackles and a forced fumble. And Shy Murphy had 10 carries for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Alone, that's over, 300 and some odd yards rushing by 2 guys?
Yeah, they came ready to play. Really kind of early in that game, Ali came out of the gates ready to go. And, he was really kind of the engine that got us started. And then, Shy Murphy's running the ball so hard this year. He's doing so well. And, he's able to pop one. And really then we were able to just kind of get going on offense. Shout out to the guys up front.
I was going to say the offensive line had to be playing great.
Yeah, I think we got a freshman guard starting for us, and it's really starting to look like it makes sense to him now, right? Like the game is starting to slow down for him. He's starting to understand it. He's understanding where his shoulder needs to get to, which side of the defender he needs to attack. We're able to start fixing the small things, and then we start 2 freshmen up front, Knox Appleton at guard and Owen Lampett at our inside tackle spot, and then we got a junior at quick guard, junior at center. We got a senior at outside tackle, and then we started a sophomore at tight end last night, and can't say enough about how Tripp played. I mean, he was giving up 60 pounds to that D tackle, and I don't know that the D tackle won a battle against him all night. Like Tripp just came out and, he wasn't going to be denied. He was going to get movement. Will Odom played a lot in the backfield for us. He's a freshman. And, he didn't miss. Like he got up to where he needed to go. And it really you allow Ali and Shai to get out in the open field and fly around. And, it took all 11. It took all 11, but I thought we're starting to kind of get it clicking and understand who we are as an offense. And it was good to go into a game with two physical teams, and at no point did I feel like we were getting pushed around. We held our own at worst, and at best we were moving them out of the way and doing what we wanted to do. And I think that again, it's just a belief system and them starting to trust all 11 guys on the field and understanding that it's never going to be one guy. Like one guy, it can't do it, right? It takes everyone blocking for him. It takes the running back getting to the right hole. It takes, once you get into the open field, just not being denied and going to get in the end zone. Again, it takes a little bit of everything. Marlo didn't have the stats last night, but Marlo played well. His post that he hit to Jack Thompson to get us down to the 1 was a heck of a throw. Backside corner tries to undercut it. He puts it over the backside corner and hits him down at the 1. And I think, again, that's kind of a testament to our kids. Week 1, Marlo was kind of the one that got us going, and now this week it's really kind of Ali and Shai kind of getting us going. And, it's not going to be the same guy every week. Sometimes it's just whose number gets called and are you ready to step up and take it? And
that's nice. That's a nice problem to have.
Absolutely.
To have those three and able to not necessarily have to rely on one. And 42-35, you're going, boy, the ball's flying all over the place. It really wasn't that way. I mean, but there was a lot of hitting and a lot of blocking and moving the football on the ground.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think both teams wanted to come out and establish the run. Obviously we do it different ways. They do it from a spread look. We do it from our single wing, our unbalanced line. But at the end of the day, I think both teams were really trying. Like they wanted to get ISO going. We got ISO and counter going. Hit some weak sweep there or some strong sweep there in the second half. And again, I think the kids just believed in it. And they're starting to understand the why. Our conversations are changing now on the sidelines, and now all of a sudden they're having opinions. They're sitting down with me watching the film, and we're talking through issues. And at no point are they flustered or don't understand. They're talking about like, hey, if we do this, I think we can get them. And so, it's fun to see. It's fun to see the growth. It's fun to see the light bulb starting to go off. And I've told them all year, this is a really talented football team. We just got to keep growing, keep getting better. Who we are going to be or who we were in week 1 isn't who we're going to be by the time playoffs start. Now it's just, keep adding to it, keep getting better, keep getting more physical, keep trusting each other more and more. And, I think it's special. It's a special group. And then, defensively, everyone's going to look at it and be like, oh, man, they gave up 35 points. I'll tell you right now, that quarterback they got's pretty good, and there's a lot of plays that were made just because he was really talented. I thought our defense played really well in the first half and kind of helped us get out ahead. And then, the last 2 drives of the game, they didn't score. It's 35-28. We go down and tie it. We got to have a stop. Like, we've got to go now be the ones. Let's go try and take the lead again. They get the stop they needed. And then the final drive, they have the ball for the last 5 minutes. We dealt with some cramping, things like that. We had homecoming on Friday, so they were outside a little bit more than normal. But as we just kept rolling bodies in, kids just kept playing. And
that had to be amazing that it was homecoming and to be that focused, in that game. And that last stop in that last drive, because a lot of people go, well, homecoming, there's a lot going on. I know you guys kind of prepare them for, let's keep focus on what's going on. Did you, and you had a good start. So I don't really think you thought that was an issue at all, was it, homecoming, except for the fact maybe they might be a little more tired, maybe.
Yeah, cramping was always going to be one of those things we're always worried about. We talked about it all week. We don't really have school on Friday on homecoming. Like we're have the dodgeball tournament and powder puff and the
That's
parade.
great, yeah.
And so like it's a great day. It's a fun day, and we tell our kids all the time, like, look, like you get 4 of these. Like you're in high school for 4 years. Enjoy it, have fun, but remember that at the end of the day, we have to go play a football game. And so, enjoy it, have fun, but make sure we're locked in and ready to go when the time comes. And I think our kids did a really good job of having fun, enjoying what homecoming is, right? I never want to be the guy that's like, no, I don't care that it's homecoming. Like we have a football game. Like that's the only thing that matters. Like, no, they're high school kids. Like, yeah, they need to go have fun. They need to enjoy homecoming. I'm kind of like the dad walking around during homecoming day, like, hey, here's another water bottle. Like, drink this water. Hey, please drink water. Drink water.
Yeah.
But like, go have fun. Like don't go sit in the shade and by yourself all day just because we have a football game on Friday. Like, enjoy it, have fun with your friends, but understand that when that day ends, when the school day ends, we get in the locker room. It's time to shift our focus. Now it's time to lock in. Now it's time to get ready to go play football, and I think our kids did a really good job of that, and they were ready to go.
Talking to Christian Peterson here on Cougar Corner this Saturday morning. You talked about the kid for Concord Christian. What adjustments did you make? Because that's got to be mind blowing that he can run around for 9 seconds. Or how do you defense that?
Really, you just got to keep mixing up where the pressure's coming from. They did a good job they hit us a couple times on some things we had done in the first half. They made some good adjustments. And so really as we go, we know like now we've got to mix up, bringing a linebacker off the edge, bringing a linebacker inside, bringing a safety down from outside. All right. Really the third down play right before the last one, we bring the safety down. And so when he scrambles left, he's not expecting the safety to be there. He watched all the linebackers drop. He thinks he's good. He goes roll left. And then Ali meets him right as he throws it. And so, I think that play affected the fourth down play. But, I mean, those are the kind of things you got to do. You got to keep mixing it up. You've got to bring Cooper Jones off the edge, and then you've got to bring an Eric inside maybe the next play. Now you can bring Trey Ewell or Ali kind of off the edge, one or the other. And so
letting him see different looks.
Yeah.
He can't get comfortable.
He can't. You just can't keep sending pressure from the same spot. He's too athletic. He can move too well. He'll just make you miss. And like we've got good players on the defense side of the ball that he made miss a few times. And so and he's a tough kid. I mean, he got hit a few times. Yeah. And just kept getting back up. But I think that's what it is you just kind of gotta. You have to understand sometimes you're playing a good player.
Yeah.
And you've just got to keep mixing up the looks. And when you get your opportunity to win, you got to go win it.
Yeah.
And then understanding that when he wins, it's not the end of the world. Now we just line back up. Let's go win the next one. And so
it truly was a team effort.
Yeah.
Last night.
For sure.
In every stage of it, quarterback play, running backs, defense, offensive line, all of it, defensive line.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I said, we rotated bodies in all night. Riley Brown played a lot at linebacker. Jackson Shoemaker went down with a knee. We think he's going to be okay, but just got to kind of wait and see. So Riley played a ton at linebacker. He played a ton at A, and he does a lot of stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheet.
And we're talking some players that play on both sides of the ball, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Not a lot of big numbers out there for either team, but that has to be concerning because of the heat, and as much running and much chasing some people. That had to be kind of rough to make sure they're hydrated, that kind of thing. It's all in it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had a point. I don't know if it was the last drive or the one right before it, but, I mean, we had rotated in a different safety. James Hancock got rolled out right before the game. So we had to ask Shy to play a lot more corner than he's had to play the last couple weeks. Both of our inside linebackers were out, Shu with his knee, and then Eric had rolled his ankle. So we had a sophomore and junior filling in the inside linebacker spots, with Cooper playing outside, and it was just, again though, and it kind of goes back to the Grace Baptist week when I thought when our twos went in, they took advantage of it. They played really hard. They showed that they know what to do, and so even as guys, your starting guys, the guys people look at, Eric Bowling's a captain on our team, right? When he comes out, we're able to go and put another guy in there, and we can trust him that he's going to go do what he's supposed to do. And, I don't think the moment was too big for any of them. I thought they played really well. And again, I think it's a testament to our kids of understanding, like, this group has learned, like, you're one play away from going in. So, like, every rep you get, like, it better be your best rep in practice, because you might not get as many as Eric does in practice. It might be 70-30 in the week. But like, if Eric goes down, like, you got to go in, you got to play. And I think they've maximized their reps during the week. And, they make sure when they're out there, they're ready to go. And I'm proud of them. I'm proud of how hard they fought. Sometimes in those games, it just comes down to, like, I'm not going to let them get in the end zone. Right. And, I thought our defense collectively did that. They had some plays. They picked up a couple fourth downs on that drive. Like, it was a tough drive. And, there was a bunch of times where it could have been like, man, I just don't have anything left. I'm tired. And, they just kept finding that little bit extra. And were able to hold on and win the game.
Okay, well, big win. And I know kind of what you're saying is kind of a person-defining game for those kids. You go now, and you're going to be at Providence Academy. Now, this is a game. Tell us a little bit about this game, because you've just had a big win. You can't have let down for the next week.
I think it helps. This is a region game. For us, we talked about it, and I kind of dangled the carrot in front of them. Like, I need them to understand, like, you're good enough to go compete for a region championship, and I think when you win a state title, sometimes people forget how important winning a region championship is. Like, it's been done 3 times in school history, right? We don't have 107 of them.
Yeah.
Right. We've been playing football for 20 years. And so you're going to have an opportunity to go do something that's only been done 3 times. And, that was kind of our rallying cry this week of go get to 2-0 in the region. And so, like, we win that one, we're excited, and I ended my message Friday night of, like, now we've got to go prepare to go 3-0 in the region. Like, we've got to go win this. This is a region game. This is important. And so, again, I think our kids will respond. We're going to have to be ready to go. Providence does a lot of things on offense. They'll split back their wing tee, their spread. They kind of bump in and out of different formations. They don't have to rotate a whole lot of guys to do it. So, defensively, it's going to be a challenge for them. And then our offense versus their defense, they play really freaking hard. They play hard. And so, we're going to have to beat them with technique and with effort and with physicality. And, I think if we can build on last week, I have faith that we can do it. But we're going to need to have a great Monday through Thursday to make that happen.
And this is not Providence and PC. This is not PCA we're playing, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. This is.
I want to make sure everybody knows that, because you hear the word Providence. And you're traveling, and that game starts at 7:30.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
7:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, Eastern time. So, we'll have your score in pretty quickly on that one. So I did want to make sure that everybody knew that. Okay, Coach. Good luck next week.
Appreciate it.
But you can't leave yet. We've got other business to take care of.
Sounds
good. Go over the schedule. But tell us about Fall Festival is here. It's today, right?
It is today. That's actually my family's already there.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
Once I'm done in here, I'm going to go meet them up there. It's a great day. It really is. I talk about it all the time. The community MTCS is fantastic. And I think these events really, really show just how great the community is. The varsity gym is just loaded with all different kinds of things. There's going to be inflatables. There's going to be a bunch of different, almost like carnival games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have some food trucks there. It's going to be great. It's a great day. The kids love it. That's all my daughter's talked about. She can't wait to go. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely looking forward to being out there.
I know they're not missing you at all right now.
Not at all.
They're out there
Not
having a
at
good
all.
time. Well, it's a little warmer than usual, I think, but that's kind of a good thing in a way. I mean, the gym's not going to be a problem, but good weather to go out there today. I mean, and it doesn't have to be Middle Tennessee Christian folks, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Anybody's
welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this you can't ask for much better weather than this.
Yeah.
It was 75 when I was driving in this morning.
Yeah.
So.
And I really, the football games, really, it seems like when the sun goes down, it just drops off to a pretty, favorable, condition. It's not bad.
No, it's been great. I think you Friday night and then even last Friday down in Chattanooga, I think that is perfect weather.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not cold, but it's got like that little chill in the air, and I think
it feels fallish.
It does.
It
does. I'm excited.
But you can still wear, shorts if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We're going to go over the schedule. Help me here, Coach, if you can. September 22nd, MTCS Golf in the district tournament. That'll start at 8:30 a.m. Volleyball's on the 22nd, 5:45 against Riverdale. September 23rd, Blackman MTCS Tennis. That'll be at 4 o'clock. Middle school will play tennis on the 23rd as well. Let's see, soccer for MTCS against Providence Christian. Now, they are playing PCA.
Yeah.
That'll be September 23rd at 5 o'clock. Clarksville Academy also at 5. This is middle school for MTCS soccer. Going down the road here, and let's go to the 25th. We've got tennis, girls tennis. The 25th for MTCS volleyball. We did get a chance to talk volleyball a couple weeks ago. Appreciate you helping on that, and it was great. They've got a really good volleyball team.
They do.
There's several good volleyball teams around in this county.
Well, shoot, I was just looking the other day. I don't know. They've given up a set in like their last like 8 games.
Yeah.
Like they're impressive to watch. They're so much fun to watch. And they've beaten some good teams. Where that they were in control the entire time, and they're really talented. That's a senior heavy group that's played together, and that they've won a lot of big matches together. And like I said, I enjoy watching them whenever they're at home. Pretty much if it's not a Monday, Mondays are the hardest. But if it's not a Monday and they're at home, I'm trying to go watch them.
Well, the middle school girls are pretty good too.
They are. They are.
I've got a granddaughter that plays for Eagle, and they're pretty good. In fact, real good. Let me mention cross country. It's September 27th at the Mountain Lion Invitational. That's at 7 a.m. Also, girls volleyball will start the district tournament on the 29th, so it's here. It's next week, basically.
Yeah.
And so looking forward to that. Well, I guess we've done the rundown. Fall Festival, and it won't be long.
Yes.
Do you have to help with that at all?
I will now. I'm now an assistant AD.
Oh,
so,
no.
Well, I don't know why they put me into an admin role, but they decided to do it, and now
they gave you a promotion.
Oh yeah, they did. I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, no, I'll be helping out with that.
Knowledgeable, about all the sports that are going on out there. That's for sure. Well, I don't know whether to congratulate you or tell you I'm sorry.
Shoot, some days I don't know either.
Good luck next week. I know it's going to be a big game for you, and that's a region game, so go Cougars on that. Christian, appreciate it as always. And that's going to be Cougar Corner for John Dinkins, Brian Barrett, and Dalton Barrett, Danny Brewer, and, of course, Coach Peterson here. We'll see you next week. So long, everybody.
Appreciate you.
Access to, so when I need to access it to load and unload gear for the weekend gig.
Oh, so you could also store the stuff there as well.
That's what they're telling me. I haven't had a chance to tour it yet. I'm kind of in the
where I was
initial
going next,
stages.
the next question I was going to ask you is what's going to cost you for a very small storage unit to store the stuff? I'm looking at least run through those numbers if I'm you to go, if I sell the house, clear my debt, and, my expenses actually can go down. In other words, I'm not paying a mortgage anymore over there.
How much is your roommate paying you?
$550.
So your net out of pocket's about $400 if you keep the house.
Mm.
Correct, just for the house. But then, double up on utility bills and all that if I rent an office. As far as I saw that they were communicating to me, I won't have to pay for internet or heater, air conditioning, or any of that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think the office is a better place